Okay, good morning, guys. Okay, wow. See, I just woke up. That's not quite true. I've been up for a little bit, but I've been running around like a maniac. Like a chicken with the head cut off.
Oh,
Okay,
also have my
wow.
own stream up.
See, I just woke up. Alright. Hey, guys. So I didn't have too much to talk about, so this actually works out anyways. I didn't have too much to talk about with regards to a Nintendo pre-show. They don't really have their own pre-show going on right now. In fact, what you're doing is you're listening to it right here. Let me turn that down a bit, shall we? Cause yeah, that's a bit loud. So is this it? Yeah, that's the one. Image 4. So I did have a couple things I wanted to talk about. Just tiny little topics I felt were worth discussing. One thing that's been mentioned many times with regards to E3 is who wins E3. Now I myself have answered questions like that about who I think won E3 and who I think had done the best presentation or whatever. But let me make this clear. Even though I like to critique their presentations, and I do absolutely, I want to go ahead and just get on the record here as saying that I don't legitimately think about the idea of someone winning E3. For me, the idea of someone winning E3 is right alongside the lines of the hands thing or all the other stuff that I like to make fun of when it comes to E3, aka something I just don't take seriously. I don't think there's a winning a conference like this. I think that very concept doesn't fit. I do think some people present a little bit better than others, but you get the general concept there. I will say thus far, and this is funny, but again, I've been watching E3 since I can't actually remember. It was 2006 or 2007. I want to say it was 2007. But I've been watching E3s for a while, is what I'm trying to say. And this is actually probably one of the better E3s I've seen overall. Sony's conference, or not Sony, excuse me, EA's conference was pretty bland. They still had a couple of points of interest as they were going through it. And then all the other conferences I've seen, even where they have been screwing up now and again, have the overall level of quality has actually been pretty good. And we've seen a lot of interesting stuff. They've actually made me interested in stuff I wouldn't otherwise be interested in. Bethesda's conference was actually nowhere near as knocking it out of the park as it was last year, but it was still good, despite the Fallout 4 news. We'll probably talk about that later. Then there's the Microsoft conference, which I didn't even cover because nobody wanted me to. I actually just answered a question about that this morning, and Microsoft conference was surprisingly good despite what they were doing with it. Ubisoft's conference was silly and ridiculous, and I really wish they hadn't picked the one comedian. I can't remember her name. Forgive me, to present it. But overall, I still felt it was a net positive conference. The PC Gamer Conference, now that I've gone back and watched the whole thing, was actually pretty good overall. Of course, that's mostly going to be a tech thing in general, and that's one of the main reasons why that one doesn't get this kind of coverage the other ones do, but still well presented. And of course, the Sony conference knocked it out of the park. Sony won, if you will. Aisha Tyler, thank you. You're welcome, Scene. That's what I'm here for. No copyright issues so far, by the way, with my E3 stuff. I'm actually a little surprised by that, to be completely honest with you. So, I mean, it's not like any of these conferences have been flawless. It's not like any of them do not have things that I've had cause to, make fun of or to just kind of roll my eyes at. The VR thing that both Sony and Ubisoft seriously pushed comes to mind. And how about exclusive to Xbox One and Windows 10? Exclusive to Xbox One and Windows 10. Exclusive to Xbox One and Windows 10. However, like I said, I've been watching E3s for a while, and this is one of the better E3s I've ever seen. So far. We'll see what Nintendo does. Now, that being said, there is one thing I do want to discuss here, and that's the idea that it is entirely possible that the only reason I'm thinking so positively about E3 thus far is because it's been so bad in the past. There's actually a psychological term for this, and I don't actually remember what it's called, but the general concept boils down to, let's say your whole life you've been eating sand, and it's like, oh god, that tastes terrible, and then some time passes, and someone says, hey, why don't you try this new thing? It's called mud, not water. I know that's a different analogy. In fact, let's use a different analogy. Let's say you're used to eating terrible food. Let's just put it that way. Let's say that's your norm. Every day, your everyday norm is eating terrible food, okay? Then let's say one day you are given bad food. Not terrible, not good, but bad food. Because of the fact that you are so accustomed to this terrible food, this bad food is going to seem much, much better by comparison, especially if you don't really have good food to compare it against as well. I think you kind of get where I'm going with this. In other words, it is entirely possible this is not actually a good E3, given how many negative experiences we have had at this E3. That, in the interest of total honesty, this may be just a bad E3 that happens to be better than most other E3s, which, and I hate to sound cynical, is about keeping in line with what E3 has always been. E3 has always been a ridiculous spectacle. There's a reason. There is a reason that the entire concept of let's go make fun of it for fun exists at an E3, because they have made it a silly, ridiculous circus for so many years that it's actually become a cultural thing now that people will watch E3 purely for the enjoyment of MST3K'ing it. That's a thing now. So, yeah, alright, so hang on. A couple people asked me questions. Let me scroll back up here. Scroll up. Seend asks about... so we have basically no info about the NX. I've given my big prediction about the NX already. And it's a really weird, wild idea that might not work, which is why I think it's likely, because this is Nintendo we're talking about. They like to do weird, wild things that might not work all the time. It's actually one of the things I like about the company, at least from the development side of things. So, I think the NX will actually be a cross-platform hub instead of being a new console. It will be something you can use to play your 3DS games. It'll be something you can use to play your Wii U games, and it'll be something you can use to have other features that you wouldn't already have on a 3DS or on a Wii U. Like, say, live streaming or multiplayer matchmaking or stuff like that. Who knows, though? Who knows? That's my big idea, though, about what the NX is going to be. However, as was mentioned, they're going to be talking about that at the Tokyo Game Show, which is... I don't remember when it is this year off the top of my head, I'm sorry. Hey, I'll look that up real quick. When's this year's Tokyo Game Show? It's going to be... dramatic pause. Looks like mid-September, if I'm looking at this right. Yeah, September 17th. Or no, yeah, September 15th, excuse me. September 15th is when Tokyo Game Show is going to be this year. So that's when we'll really get some definitive news about the NX. I thought I saw another question up there. Nothrazim. On average, how many games do I see at the E3 that I actually want to purchase? That's a fun question, because there's two answers to that. There's the money isn't an issue answer, and then there's the reality answer. Hey, Josh Meltzing. In reality, I don't actually want to pick up that many of these games because money is an issue. I will be picking up several of these with regards to, keeping in mind the show and whatnot, because that's a business expense at that point. It's easier to swallow than just buying a game because I want a game. So on average, keeping reality, the number would be very, very low. I'd say maybe 3. If money wasn't an issue, that number would go up considerably. There's actually a lot of these games that I would like to try out. Again, most of the games shown at the Sony conference at least look like they're worth trying. Horizon is a great example, as one of those that I would actually like to try. Hey, Shadow, where the heck have you been, dude? What's up? And I don't remember the whole list. Excuse me. I really did just wake up, like, at this point, about 27 minutes ago, it looks like. Uh, so, yeah, please be a good Spider-Man game. You remember me saying that? I've wanted a really great Spider-Man game forever. And I would love to see a really great Spider-Man game. I want to keep emphasizing that word great. I want a Spider-Man game that is awesome. That new game Ubisoft pointed out, their SSX open world game, that actually sounds fun to me. I won't I won't actually spring for it in reality land because money is a thing. But that's the kind of game I would pick up if money wasn't an issue. That kind of stuff. That's a good example of that. I will be picking up, almost guaranteed, the new South Park. Fractured but whole. Yeah, there's no way to say that without... It's 3 words. Fractured but whole. I'm going to start calling it fractured but complete. Is that okay? Um, we talked about that yesterday, Psychotic. I actually agreed uh, that there were several there have been enjoyable, there have been acceptable Spider-Man games in the past. I just feel like there has never been a truly great Spider-Man game. Yeah, the South Park conference actually did make me legitimately laugh, which is something. So I'm with that. FF15. I actually have thoughts about FF15. I was going to start sharing those when we start going through 4-Job Fiesta. By the way, that's tomorrow, starting at 11 a.m. EST. If anyone wants to join me, I would absolutely love to have you guys join me when we're doing 4-Job Fiesta this year. That would make me happy. But with regards to FF15, I'll give you my very brief thoughts right now in the fact that it hasn't changed at all. Or I should say my thoughts on it haven't changed at all. They have been more solidified. They have more backing now. But I've had the impression for months now at this point that FF15 looks like a game that will be fun to play. And that's all I know about it. I have no idea if the story or the characters or anything about the world or the setting or the themes or the characterization or character growth will actually engage me. It did look like a game I would enjoy playing. And that is exactly what I'm thinking right now, too. Everything I've seen about the actual gameplay looks cool. Everything I've seen about the actual gameplay looks fun. My thoughts remain the same. Nothing's changed from my perspective. So if you don't know what my 4-Job Fiesta is, if you go to... Here, let me pull up my site, because I actually have a video I did explaining 4-Job Fiesta. And I will just link that to you. It's a great way to explain it. I actually did 4-Job Fiesta for the stream last year as well. Here we go. So, this is a video explaining 4-Job Fiesta for anybody who's curious. Hey, Adam Hellscream, what's been up, dude? Several people showing up I haven't seen in a bit now. Shadow, of course, is ignoring me because Shadow hates me. When is white bad and black good? In Japan. Also, I just want to say in advance, just in case I forget, because I've been very, very busy lately, happy birthday in advance, Pro Idiot. I hope you have a good birthday. I hope you do some really cool stuff and get lots and lots of cake. Yeah, go ahead, Ilaria. And by the way, I did see your post, Corrales. I already saw what you showed with regards to Mass Effect, which is I find funny because if you paid attention, 2 of the bullet points there actually contradict each other. Oh my god, I can't open my own... what the heck? There we go. I have no idea, Fakey. Okay, and yeah, Lyria has a nice post there about 4-Job Fiesta as well. Heaven's Charge as a company? I'm looking up who Heaven's Charge is real quick to refresh myself as to who the heck these people are. I don't know what you're talking about. I admit I know nothing. Yeah, that's what I thought. Okay. Oh, gotcha. I know, we did that yesterday, Myron. Today is Nintendo. The last thing I'm going to be covering with regards to E3 Live. Wow, Nintendo's chat right now is ridiculous, by the way. That's true, Macon. And I liked that, too. They even danced around the plot that we know, having, seen the movie. It's just a night, Zoan. It could be something real. Why would we have a problem with that, Fuke? My favorite Pokemon is Crobat, dude. Yeah, in all sincerity, Takota, you should see the chat. It's bad. It's bad. Oh my god. However, if their timing is correct, we should be starting basically any moment now. So I'm going to go ahead and do this. And we'll just readjust. There we go. The Nintendo streams chat right now. I did want to have one other thing to say, and we'll see if... I just want to make this prediction now. I think, based on feedback, they might actually have something about a female Link in the new Zelda, and they will miss the point completely about why we want a female Link. Hey, Reggie.
Hi, this is Reggie from Nintendo. Before we begin, we want to extend our condolences to all the victims of the two tragic events in Orlando. Our thoughts are with their families and their communities. And this includes Christina Grimmie, who was killed in the earlier incident and was scheduled to visit us here at our E3 booth this week.
She was, that's true.
At Nintendo, we try to make our fans smile. But this week at E3, we'll also be shedding a few tears. Please join me in a moment of silence.
I'm actually a little impressed with that. I mean, he was reading from a script, but that moment of silence bit. And they actually did it. That was surprisingly tasteful.
If you've been a fan of Nintendo over the years, you'll know that the Nintendo experience is different at every E3. We always look for the best way to introduce our most important content. And this year is no different. And that's why we're coming to you directly from our show booth on the set of Nintendo Treehouse Live. On the other side of the wall behind me, the finishing touches are being made before we open it up to thousands of industry insiders in just a couple of hours. That space will immerse visitors in the world of a single game, the newest entry in the Legend of Zelda franchise. What's in store is an entirely new format for a Zelda game. 3 decades ago, the first Zelda game changed the way millions of people thought about video games.
It's been 30 years.
And this week, you'll discover a game that could change that thinking again.
God, that's weird.
Here's the first look at what awaits.
All right, come on, hit me.
Open your eyes.
My body is ready. Also, hope you enjoy melching. Welcome to my stream. Don't be a stranger. you have anything to share or talk about, please feel free to do so. Looks amazing. I'm just going to start with that. Very stylized still, but very polished. I'm reminded of Wind Waker HD if they basically were using upping the textures, you know? Yeah, I hope you noticed there was voice acting in a Zelda.
Open your eyes.
And no, Midna doesn't count.
Wake up, Link.
Loving the animation, not a shock. I mean, right? Oh my god, it really is Assassin's Creed Zelda. And yet I'm okay with that. Cool. Ah! Oh, dude, we get the sand pillar again. Also, spear weapon? Sold! Let me play Dragoon Link. Hey, Hylisk. Breath of the Wild. Hang on, where's my wallet? Here, take it! Just take it! Just take it!
The Legend of Zelda, Breath of the Wild, introduces you to a Hyrule that is truly seamless, where simply moving from one place to another begins to create what may be the adventure of a lifetime. And not only is this new world vast, but it feels alive. It teems with adventure. Throughout Link's quest, Hyrule will be a resource, an ally, an enemy, and always a place for discovery and wonder. This is easily one of the biggest experiences ever created by Nintendo. And today, you're going to get a close-up look. The portion of the game we're highlighting at E3, a wide-ranging plateau, may seem huge. In fact, no one here this week will be able to explore all of it. But even then, that plateau is only a tiny fraction of the full game map. We'll be devoting almost this full first day of Nintendo Treehouse Live coverage to just this one environment. Then, in the future, you'll learn more about the story, the characters, and the ways in which the boundaries of all previous Zelda titles are being broken. But in the end, full understanding and full immersion will only come when you experience it for yourself.
Damn right he did, Frozen.
However, before we show you this biggest adventure for Wii U and NX, we're going to show you the biggest new adventure coming up for Nintendo 3DS. As you've heard, there are two new core Pokemon titles on the way on November 18th.
Yep.
Pokemon Sun and Pokemon Moon. As always, you'll pick which new starter Pokemon to partner with.
I'm going with Moon, by the way.
But which one to choose? exactly what kind of battling awaits you. And what does the new Alola region have in store for players?
Rowlet.
Well, we figured there was no one better equipped to answer those questions than the two key developers of the game itself, producer Junichi Matsuda and director Shigeru Omori of Game Freak. So before we devote the rest of the day to The Legend of Zelda, I'm going to turn it over to the
Zelda.
Treehouse team along with
I have so much to
Mr.
talk
Omori,
about.
to show you what it's like to start as a Pokemon trainer in the first ever live gameplay demonstration of Pokemon Sun and Pokemon Moon.
Do you think it'll actually be
So
live
let's jump
gameplay
in.
instead of pre-recorded?
Take it away,
That would amuse
Sam
me
and Terry.
beyond words, if it really was.
Thanks, Reggie. And thanks to everyone watching for tuning in and joining us for another Nintendo Treehouse Live at E3.
She
We're
is
really excited to get
so
started.
nervous.
So, as Reggie mentioned, I'm Sam from Nintendo,
She is
and joining me
so
up here, I've got
nervous.
Terry from Nintendo and my colleague David from TPCI. And we've also got our very special guests, Masuda-san and Omori-san from Game Freak, who are joining us to chat about Pokemon Sun and Pokemon Moon. Now, Pokemon fans already know that you guys have a very long history of working with the Pokemon franchise, but could you tell our viewers a little bit more about what you guys are doing specifically with Pokemon Sun and Pokemon Moon?
2人ともポケモンの開発に関わってすごく歴史が長いんですけれども、今回のポケモンサンとポケモンムーンでの役割について教えてもらえますか？
そうですね、今年ポケモンが20周年ということで、ここから先のポケモン、未来に向けてのポケモンということで、私はプロデュースに徹して、今回、茂大森が、ディレクターという新しい体制で取り組みました。
So this is the 20th anniversary of Pokemon, as I think many of you know. And when thinking about the future of Pokemon, I've decided that I would be the producer on this title, and pass over the director role over to Shigeru Omori here for Pokemon Sun and Moon.
Sorry, I prefer it when they have a translator, a proper translator there, than some of the other things we've seen happen over the years. Cough, cough, Square Enix last year, cough, cough.
So I'm Shigeru Omori from Game Freak, and I was the director on this game, overseeing the entire development of it.
Well, thank you so much for joining us today. I know you brought some art assets that we can take a look at to introduce folks to the Pokemon Moon, Pokemon Sun collection. But first, we've actually got some video footage that you brought for us. So, folks watching, if you sit tight, we're actually going to get that queued up for you so you can take a look.
Hey, they're being honest about the fact that it's footage. Grass and flying. I already like that combo. I like both of those types. Bet you he's gonna become Fire Dark. What do you want to bet? By the way, I'm a big Pokemon fan, for those of you who don't know. And he might stay pure water. Steel and Psychic? Oh my god, Psychic and Ghost. Yes! Those are like awesome. I like her bag. Roll the red release, because that's how they roll.
All right, so there's a lot for us to talk about just from the footage there. The first thing I'd like to actually ask you is if you could tell us a little bit more about the background of why you went with Sun and Moon as the titles for these games.
My favorite Pokemon is Crobat. My favorite generation is something I always have a hard time answering, but I usually default to Platinum. Generation 4.
私たちの住んでいるこの地球っていうところには生き物がたくさんいるわけですけども、その中でその生き物に対して
That's a good question. What kind of tree is a kukui? Does anybody know? We've got to figure out what kind of plant or tree a kukui is. Yeah, this was thrown together, for those of you not aware. They weren't going to present anything other than Zelda at this E3. This was tossed in, and it does kind of show. So let's be honest, let's pull back our our rampant enthusiasm.
So there's a variety of meanings behind the titles, but one of the main things is that, for example, for here on Earth, obviously, the sun really is the source of all life on this planet, and in the same way in the Pokemon world, it's also the source of life on the planet, and the moon also affects all of our lives here as well. And with this game, we really wanted to express this kind of feeling of a region really teeming with life, so we felt that Sun and Moon would be an appropriate title for the games.
And I think especially thinking about these big elemental forces, sun and the moon. We also need to talk about those legendaries that are on the packaging, because I think folks are going to really want to hear a little bit more about what they can expect from those Pokemon.
すごい太陽と月の存在の多分表しにもなってるんじゃないかなと思うんですけど、このかっこいい伝説のポケモンについて話してもらいま
This
す
is the My Little Pony thing all over again. The Sun Pony gets all the glory, and the Moon Pony, nobody likes her. Yeah, go ahead, Darkrai. No, I haven't, Happy. I'm still on Black and White 2 is as most recent as I've played. I haven't had time to devote to Pokemon. So I'm just super behind on the series.
In the games, the legends say that Solgaleo and Lunala are the emissaries of the sun and the moon, respectively.
It is a
these
tree.
Two legendary Pokemon, actually, they kind of play a unique role. They tie into the story in a unique way that we really haven't done with pairs of legendary Pokemon before. So I think fans will be really excited about it.
I think these are a really interesting spiritual element that we get in these games. I won't talk about that too much yet because I know we're saving some surprises. But on the subject of legendaries, I know you recently had an event in Taiwan where you revealed some news about another legendary Pokemon folks remember from XY and what they might expect from that Pokemon in these games. We can maybe talk about that a little bit too.
ちょっと伝説ポケモンの話で、先日ちょっと台湾
So,
XY に登場した伝説
I
ポケモンについて
wouldn't be against the idea of one of the teams kind of making a resurgence. It wouldn't be the first time that's happened. Remember, they did that in Gen 2. And it worked actually pretty well in Gen 2, in my opinion. And then I will stab them without end. Absurdity. It was great.
So, Zygarde, the Pokemon that one of the legendary Pokemon that appeared in originally in Pokemon X and Y. It just recently showed off their the 10% form and complete form in the games, and these Pokemon these forms will appear in Pokemon Sun and Moon, kind of in a special way that I think people will be excited about.
They look so cool. And actually, here, since we're looking at a little bit of the Alola region in the background, this is probably a good chance to talk maybe in a little bit more detail about the Alola region and what players can maybe expect there.
One of the other things I like about this, Reggie obviously was going off of a script, which is such a shame. Reggie's actually, in my opinion, best when he's not on script. I've said it before and I've said it again. Ever since Reggie took his own, the mockery of himself and ran with it and embraced it, I think Reggie's actually pretty awesome. And I think he's best when he's just being naturally himself, because Reggie's a goofball. But you can tell they kind of threw together the script for this one, so she's kind of not really reading a script, which is nice.
It's made up these 4 islands. It has a man-made island as well. But it's really this region that's just like teeming with life, and that's actually behind the name of the region itself. We have this meaning of kind of region like a miraculous region overflowing with this life force that can support all this different life. And
yeah, I think it's really interesting since it's not connected to any of the other regions. You've got this really interesting area of isolation, and we're seeing all these Pokemon that nobody's ever run into before, and it's almost kind of feels like the Galapagos Islands, where you've got this really interesting remote area where all these other creatures are popping up, and you've got new Pokemon and a really cool environment as well to explore.
I agree that her obvious nervousness is adding to the presentation here. It feels more real. You guys were actually remember when I did my faith presentation and where I was talking too quick?
I'm very excited to get a look at it. And actually, since we're talking about new Pokemon, is there anything more that you can tell our viewers about the 3 starters that they'll be choosing from in this game?
So, you guys were saying how I was talking too fast because I was showing that real enthusiasm. But for me, I actually prefer that as opposed to the more paced discussion that, say, the guy who was announcing an EA did, just to give one example.
So, of course, they're all very cute, but one of the things they're really focused on with these 3 in particular is making their movements really cute when they're represented in the game. Like, for example, in battle and other parts in the game, you see them moving around, and they're really cute, kind of make you want to reach out and touch them almost.
Wait, August?
まあ、こう分か
I
り
don't know
や
what's
すい
going on with you, Fuke, but I hope it goes well.
デザインであったりとか、タイプのカラー、まあ、草タイプだったらグリー
The
ンが入っていた
reason
り
they
とか
wanted
っ
to
ていう
present just Zelda is because they're hyping up Zelda quite a bit. They've put a huge
And
amount
another
of
thing we always pay attention to with, or really focus on with the initial Pokemon that you choose for your partner, is making them kind of universally relatable, so people from around the world will be able to look at these Pokemon and relate with them very easily, and also very easy to understand. Like for example, the Grass-type Pokemon is going to be green, obviously, so being careful with the colors.
I think what folks have seen already from the animations that we've shown in a little bit of video footage we've been able to share, they have a lot of personality. I actually picked Poplio because I'm a hardcore water starter fan. My first was a Squirtle, and I've stuck with them. But I've been having a great time so far, and I'm looking forward to seeing what other folks pick when they get into the starters as well.
They've
They've been putting a huge amount of effort into this Zelda.
It's interesting actually what you talked about with the design of the starter Pokemon, and I think they also really fit nicely in with the kind of tropical climate and environment we've got. And I know that's something that you worked in with the design of the player characters as well this time around.
Gotcha, Fuke. Have a good vacation, dude. Of course they will, Hylas. I'm okay with that.
主人公のデザインもやっぱそれを意識されている部分ありますか？
そうですね、やっぱり暖かい国っていうのを表現する、まあ、地方ですね、表現するためにかなり軽装にしています。
So yeah, obviously the region this time, the climate there is extremely warm, so we wanted to make sure that the characters, the designs were more lightly dressed than maybe other designs have in the past.
I think fans will notice the proportions are different, especially when we get into gameplay in a couple seconds here. They're going to see it's a little different how they're used to seeing their characters in the game.
Don't let me forget to talk about the Zelda E3 thing. There is an explanation here, and I know it. I just haven't had a chance to talk about it.
そうですね、よりこう没入感高めようと思って年上がってますね。
Mead, could you tell me how
So
to
yeah,
do that?
we changed the proportions this time to be more realistic. We really wanted to kind of increase this sense of immersion, and I think you'll see that when we get into the game.
Yeah, and I don't know if I can talk about this yet, but sharp-eyed viewers probably noticed that both of those pieces of art, there was an interesting bracelet that the players were wearing. I don't know if we can, probably can't talk about that just
ちょっ
yet.
と喋れないかも、あんまり話せないかもしれないですけど、すごい目の鋭い人は、
Biggest hope,
腕輪みたいな。
biggest hope regarding Zelda?
ありました。ありました。
For later time, maybe we can talk about that. But I think we've probably kept folks in anticipation long enough. So Terry, you want to jump in and show some gameplay?
I'm excited for this.
Yes, he's actually playing the game
So I just want to mention
on
as we get into
stage.
gameplay here, this game is still in development. So folks, everything you see here might not be
Maybe.
exactly what you're
Maybe.
going to see in the final release of the
This
game.
may
but
be
I think we can give you
pre-recorded.
a really good sense of what the game's going to look and feel like as we get started.
まあ最初のものではなくて開発中のものですっていう。
そうですね、こんな早い段階で実はライブでも行うのは初めてで、どんなポケモンが出るかっていうのも
Yeah, that's a person.
世界初公開のポケモン登場
That's a
するかもしれ
person.
ないんで
You see how he's not moving smoothly? See how he bumped into the wall? That's a real person playing the actual game. Holy crap.
Be a live game.
Oh my god. Someone's
Not sure
actually
exactly
playing
what
the
we're
game
gonna encounter
on
in this. We may see
screen.
some all new Pokemon that haven't been revealed before.
Oh, keep my fingers crossed. That'd be really cool. Actually, as we get started here, Masuda-san and Mori-san, can you tell us a little bit about the story and the background of what's going on right now in the game?
まあ今ここでちょっと主人公は何をしている場面になるんでしょうか。
そうですね、主人公はですね、アローラ地方に引っ越してきたばかりという設定になっています。で、今回すでに少し進めていまして、最初
And
のポケモン
anybody who
は
asked a question I didn't answer, I haven't had a chance to talk. Hold on to your questions, okay? I'm going to answer them. I haven't had a chance to talk, okay?
So at this point in the game, it's a little bit slightly into it, but it's the player actually had just moved to the Alola region the other day, and one day previous to where we are in the game, he actually received his first partner Pokemon for his adventure. And right now, we're actually on the way to a neighboring town where there's a festival.
Oh.
And I think here we can see what we were talking about earlier. Oh, you're just jumping into the low grass.
誰が
Wonder what we're
何
gonna
が
get.
どんなポケモンが出ますかね。
びっくりする、これドキドキする。
レディバーですね。アローラ地方には他の地方のポケモンも出てきます。はい。
So as you can see in the Alola region, obviously it's not just new Pokemon that are unique to the Alola region, but from other regions you see Pokemon.
今回トレーナーとポケモンっていうものもしっかり描きたいと思って、トレーナーが一緒にこうポケモンの後ろにいるっていう。
Hold on to your questions, guys. Don't
And
forget
as you
them.
can see here in battle, you see the trainer is actually standing behind the Pokemon in the battle. So we really wanted to express this feeling of the trainer always being with his or her Pokemon.
Yeah, I'd love to talk about that in a little bit more detail here because I feel like there's so much that you've done with the way the battle looks in this game to make it feel really intense and really immersive. I was wondering if we could talk a little bit more about that with what you did with the lighting and the dynamic camera angles
こ
here.
れやっぱこう没入感を高めるっていう話もちょっと、出てきたんですけども、やっぱ今回こうすごい
Yeah, I like the
見た目が
autumn
違って
sky
て
quite a bit
光の
there.
表現とかもありますね。
そうですね、ちょっと時間によって影が長くなったりとかっていうのも入ってたりしますね。
So yeah, there's some cool lighting effects that we're doing here where, for example, like the shadow, you see it's in the evening right now, so it's a bit longer, but depending on the time of day, the lighting will kind of affect the mood of the battle.
I think here Terry's kind of staying still for a second to let us see how the camera is moving around. And this is something that'll just happen for you if you're staying still in the battle for a moment, and you really get a good chance to get a look at this Pokemon and the area that you're in and the environment.
まあこうやって一回、テリー今止まってくれてるんですけれども、まあこうカメラの演出を見せたりとか、結構やっぱこういうかっこいいカメラの演出があって、すごいこうバトルフィールドの全体を見渡せるような感じになってますね。
今回カメラもすごいダイナミックさっていうのを非常に意識して演出を入れていますね。
So yeah, there's
I'm getting me a Mew.
We tried to make the camera feel really dynamic in the battles this time around.
And actually, as Terry gets started in the battle here, I was wondering if we could talk a little bit more about the different changes you've made to the battle interface. I know there's a lot here that's really interesting, which makes the game really accessible to new players. Maybe this is their first Pokemon game, but it's also, I think, really satisfying as someone who's played a lot of Pokemon games. It feels really good, the changes that you've made here.
結構ベテランにもやっぱ初心者にも
Where do I get the code, Meatfist?
インターフェースにちょっと今まで違う印象があるんですけれども、どういう変更を加えたんでしょうか。
そうですね、今回とても親切なというか説明がいろいろ入れています。例えばその、インフォメーションボタンがあるんですけども、そちらをタッチすると今その技がどんな技かというのを一目で分かるようになっています。
So for example, yeah, we really tried to focus on making it really accessible and easy to understand. You saw in the moves there, Terry just pressed the little I button or the icon that's on the move, and you can go into a detailed explanation of what that move actually does.
I think it's been so helpful. There are just so many Pokemon that you have to keep in mind now as you're battling. It's so nice to be able to pull it up, and if maybe you don't quite remember what something does, being able to just pop it up really fast there, it's like you don't have to use that information, but if maybe your memory's not as good as it used to be and you need it, it's so nice to be able to pull that up and take a look.
まあちょっとこの技はどういう効果があるんだっけみたいなちょっと忘れてもらって
そうですね。
できるようになって大丈夫ですね。
例えば今レディバの方をタッチしてもらいますと、今どんな状態かというのが分かるようになっています。
So actually you can see you can tap on the 2D Pokemon icon that's at the touch screen and see how its parameters actually just got changed because of the effect of a move.
今まで全部覚えてなきゃいけなかったんですけど、これで一目で分かるようになっています。
So as you just said, like a lot of things that you had to keep in your head, you had to remember before, now visualized on the interface itself.
All right, let's see how this battle goes. Are you planning on trying to capture this?
I'm going to begin my quest to catch them all.
Okay, good luck.
全部捕まえないけど。
捕まえて。
Yeah, get it. You can do it, I think.
So just to bring up real quickly, for folks who maybe haven't played a Pokemon game before, battling Pokemon is really at the core of what the series is all about. You're going out into the world with your Pokemon, battling. Oh, this is the most stressful moment. Nice. Okay, so we're able to catch this Pokemon. But it's a really interesting game if you're interested in battle and strategy and in collecting all these really interesting Pokemon that you meet. And Popplio leveled up. Good job.
Yay.
And it was nice there too, seeing how the level up change.
ちょっとあれですね、レベルアップの演出もちょっと変わりましたね。
そうですね。
Oh, and this is actually something that we should talk about as well. Can you tell our viewers a little bit more about what they're seeing on the upper screen
これ
here?
今ちょっと図鑑に登録されたんですけども、これもちょっと違う感じがありますね。
そうですね。今回図鑑の遊びとして、埋めたくなるっていう要素をすごくかき立てるようにしました。で、白いモンスターボールなんですけども、実はあそこが空きスペースになっていて、例えばその捕まえたポケモンの進化後か、それとももしかしたらペアとなるポケモンが出てくるかもしれないっていう風に演出しています。いろいろこうどんなポケモンがいるんだろうって考えながら育てたり捕まえたりしてほしいなと思います。
So one of the things we wanted to do with the Pokedex this time was really encourage players to, again, really want to catch them all, really fill up the Pokedex. And one way we've done that, as you can see, there's the Ladybug just got registered, but next to it is a white Pokeball icon. And what that does, that indicates there's an empty space, which means that either it has an evolution or maybe there's another Pokemon out there that kind of forms a pair with it. So that'll kind of encourage players to really want to fill up that empty space, go out and search. And,
This bird is not figuring out where the door is. I'm sorry.
Yes, especially exciting, I think, when you find one and there's lots of white
Tell me if I missed
Pokeballs.
anything.
Like, oh, okay.
そうですね、一匹
We've
捕
got a
ま
lot of
え
work
て
to do.
たくさん白いモンスターボールがあるとやっぱこう捕まえたくなりますよね。
So it's
さあ次は
What we got? Oh, nice! One of the new ones.
これは新ポケモンですね。ヤングースというポケモンです。いつもお腹を空かしていて、お腹が減っていくと怒りっぽくなっちゃうっていうポケモンらしいですね。
So as you can see, this is the new Pokemon called Young Goose. It's always hungry, so it's always getting hungry, and then so it's looking for food. But whenever it's hungry, it also gets very aggressive.
I love its face. Its design is just so cute.
I like the
All
color.
cute. I feel kind of bad for it though. I feel like we just throw it a bag of chips or something and it'd be like, thank you. Always hungry.
Oh,
it's
いい
close.
感じですね
Oh, getting close there.
もう捕まるんじゃないですか
You'll probably be able to catch this one.
We're on our way.
Oh.
Good luck.
That's 2 down.
2匹ですね。
Yeah, this is always like the most stressful seconds in any Pokemon player's life. Just the
揺れがいつもそうですね。
nice. And actually, this will give us a chance to maybe take a look at the Pokedex. We've got a new Pokemon to check out. So we've got some interesting changes coming to the Pokedex in this game. Can you tell us a little bit more about what fans can expect from the new Pokedex?
今回図鑑がちょっと変わった感じで新しくなってるんですけども、この今回の図鑑についてもうちょっと話してもらえますか。
そうですね。今回ロトム図鑑というものがあります。このロトム図鑑ですけども、ポケモンを捕まえる情報をくれたりとか、冒険で次どこに行けばいいんだろうっていうことを教えてくれたり、冒険を常にサポートしてくれる図鑑です。
So actually, one of the new things in this game is that we have this item called the Rotom Pokedex, and Rotom kind of inhabits your Pokedex and actually helps
That was
you
an effort.
In your adventure. So it'll tell you
Got him, though.
information
He
about,
took off. He's flying just fine.
Pokemon that you really want to catch, or give you tips about how to catch Pokemon, and also kind of guide you on your adventure where you should go next, for example. So
Is that a
it's really
Rotom
cool
Pokedex?
function.
今下画面が黒いんですけど、あそこにロトム図鑑が入ります。
So right here, actually, we're still really early in the game. We don't have the Rotom Pokedex, so the touchscreen is just black on the bottom, but you'll get it later.
And here, actually, this is a great chance. If we just quick circle around, we can show
No,
off
Bead
not only
Fist.
the trainer's proportions, but also the movement
So,
is a little bit different than what folks who played previous Pokemon games have expected.
頭身が変わっただけではなくて、
The fact that I just caught a bird, quite literally,
そうですね
during the
今回
Pokemon
フリーに
presentation.
自由に動ける
Obviously, I didn't plan
仕
that.
組みにしてますね
Just
So
wow.
yeah, you can move around free full analog movement this time in the game.
Oh, and,
Mew
what do you think
2016,
players
thank
are
you.
going on here
これちょっと
when they're seeing the shadow
暗くなるっ
come
ていう
in?
のはどういう意味
そうで
なんですすかね。
今あそこのキャラクターがモンスターボールを投げてるんですけど、あれはポケモントレーナーですね。で
I'm
ポケ
actually
モ
a
ン
little out of
トレ
breath
ーナー
after
の視
that.
線に引っかからないように上下でその緊張感を表しています。
So you see that
I cannot receive that gift by this
she's a
game card.
Pokemon trainer, and what she's obviously going to try and
Is
battle
that
you,
for,
but what that
the Gen
shadow
3
that
remake or
appears
X and
on the
Y?
screen indicates is that that she's going to challenge you to a battle, so it kind of increases this sense of tension.
How could I have planned that, Adam Elsker? There was a freaking bird in my house. I don't even know where it came from.
じゃあこうバトルするか避けるかっていうのは
I think we're in a battle
Yeah,
here.
it feels like that moment where two people are glaring at each other.
I have no idea, Sparta. We don't leave our doors open. It's
But it is
hot.
really nice if you're in a position where maybe you're trying to get somewhere really quickly, or your Pokemon aren't in great shape right now. You don't want to fight. It's nice to have that second where you can avoid it before you just kind of stumble yourself into a battle.
How do I do that on purpose? I don't even get a bird into my house. It was just some wild, tiny little bird.
I think so. We can see here we're seeing the other trainer as well, and it's really nice. Actually,
Oh,
just to
that
get
could be
such a
at
good
Meat
look
Fist.
at
Hang
the
on. Let me
Pokemon
go pick up
proportions
that mana fee.
alongside their trainers.
今回トレーナー相手のトレーナーもバトルに出てるんですけども、やっぱこうサイズ感ポケモンのサイズ感っていうのが結構伝わりますね。
So they're doing some more stuff with lighting in this one, I noticed.
トレーナーがいることによって表現できているっていうのが今回の新しいところですね
Yeah, it's definitely one of the new things. I think by having the trainers in battle, like you mentioned, it really gives you that sense of scale.
And I think from the experience I've had at the office playing this game, it's really going to surprise people when they take a look at just how big and small certain Pokemon are when they're actually standing right next to them.
まあ結構多分今まで実感湧かなかった部分も
Yeah,
多かったんですけど
we know how big
実際遊んでみ
Pokemon
て
actually
こ
are.
のポケモンこの大きさだったんだ
We've seen the
と
charts.
ころも多分
They're
多いんだな
huge.
って
That's good,
あ
that's
と、
good.
トレーナーごとにですね、いろいろこうモーションを工夫してまして、
There's a focus center.
例えばボールの投げ方だったりとか、ポケモンに指示を出す仕草とか、そういったものが細やかに設定されています。
やられちゃったポーズとか、
やられちゃった。
And with the trainers being represented in full 3D,
Not
they
that I'm
all
aware
have
as a go.
unique motions and reactions. For example, how they throw their Pokeball or their reaction when they lose, for example.
アイテム拾いましたね。
So you just got an item there.
I think there might be some more folks we can battle up here.
If you enjoy the Pokemon concept, you will enjoy several of the
As
recent
we're walking
ones.
around, I'm
I
hoping folks
personally
are
think the
watching
only
or listening
Pokemon
with
game that
volume up so they
didn't
can
really
hear the
innovate was
music
Black
in
and White
this
2.
area.
Every other one
Found
has
it
added something that has
great
improved
how
the
it feels,
games.
it really fits in with the tropical.
And as I told you
environment.
myself, Pokemon Platinum is actually my favorite Pokemon to date. Gen 4. Does anyone else remember their questions? Because it sounds like they're not talking about anything relevant right now. So if you have a question, now would be a fantastic time to ask it.
And we can see as Terry's battling here, with how the battle interface is set up, it's really easy to just get super involved in the battle to whatever extent you want to be.
Okay,
With all
so
this information at your
Zawan
fingertips, it's not
asks,
that you have to look at it all,
would
but
it
it's
not
so
be
nice that
better?
if there's anything that you
Would it
want
not be
check
better to
on,
just have Zelda as a protagonist than a Link? I've actually tossed up my own idea about that in the past. In other words, have all three main characters be playable. Personally, I do think that would be a better direction to go in. However, I also think making Link the same regardless of gender is something that should have happened already. Link's entire purpose in existing is to be a link between the game and the player, hence the name. I've talked about this before when we did the Zelda Ruminations. Making it possible to make your avatar character male or female by your choice is something I think should happen regardless of Zelda's inclusion. So, yes and no is my answer to that. Josh Melching asks, what's my biggest hope for Zelda?
Just so cute.
I would love a world to get lost in again. I haven't really felt like that in a Zelda in a long time. In fact, the last Zelda I really felt like I just got lost in was probably the SNES one, LTTP. The Ocarina one had that wonderful Hyrule field, but even when I was younger, playing through that, I quickly realized there wasn't much to do in there. And Twilight Princess certainly had some great explorative things, and so... Actually, you know what? I take that back. I kind of got lost in Wind Waker when I first played Wind Waker. So I guess it's actually just been since Wind Waker. Not as long as I thought. But I would like to have a world to get lost in again. I think that would be awesome.
Yeah, watching its animations, it's got very bird-like movements as it's kind of twitching its head side to side, and I think that the level of detail that you guys have put into all the Pokemon animations in this game is really fantastic.
I don't know how I forgot Wind Waker. It's one of my favorite Zeldas. Yeah, Link's gender's always been irrelevant. I see no reason not to allow it. I said this when they first announced the thing, and I actually legitimately thought it was a Gerudo Link. You remember that? That was like my first thought, was we were playing a Gerudo Link. And I also thought he was female. And when we started discussing that for real, it was like, you know, I actually think that it's that it should be a choice. It's an avatar character. It should be a choice. Pokemon allows that, you know? Just to name an example. Oh, by the way, I also personally think that this one, storyline-wise, is going to happen after Skyward Sword, before Minish Cap. That's my personal prediction. Just tossing it out there. I wanted to talk about why Zelda's getting so much attention. And why so Nintendo has never really given a big, has never really cared about E3. That's never really been their big focus, especially nowadays, now that they have Nintendo Direct. So they do most of their major announcements in Nintendo Direct, and for the record, I like that. I like the fact that they have their own thing that they just toss out as a digital thing saying, here's our announcements, here's our presentations. So the only reason for them to care about E3, I mean, remember, last year they just did a Nintendo Direct at E3. The only reason for them to care about E3 is if they have something big, something they have been working on for a long time, like this new Zelda, which again is probably the most ambitious project they've ever done, with the possible exception of Mario Galaxy 1. Which, for those of you who don't remember, historically speaking, was a very large project at the time as well. Nick. It makes perfect sense to me that they want to do an entire section on Zelda at E3, and that they want to show Zelda at E3 in general. The title of the new Zelda is called Breath of the Wild, and I like the title, by the way. I guess that's actually all I have to say about that. What do I think of the voice calling him? Like, I talked about the voice acting thing. Let me make my statement 100% clear. I'm okay with voice acting if it's good. We haven't really seen Nintendo stretch into voice acting yet, so I have nothing to draw from on there. But, you know, for example, I don't mind voice acting if it's presented properly. That's really my only requirement on that. So the idea of them doing a voice acting for Zelda doesn't bother me on the face of it. I do think Link should remain not voice acted, but that's okay, that's doable. Link can still remain a silent protagonist while everyone else has voice acting. That's a thing.
I think the response I've seen, he is.
Now there is a contrast to that. You notice she flat out referred to him as Link, which means his name is pretty much going to be Link. It's probably just we're probably not even getting a chance to rename him. And I'm okay with that. I am okay with that on the surface of it. It doesn't bother me to call him Link. I do think of him as Link anyways. After all, we've had other games that have done something similar. For example, Super Mario RPG, which doesn't let you rename Mario. It lets you rename your save. And they would use that save name for a few things throughout the course of Super Mario RPG. But yeah, exactly, Jesse. There's no real way around it, exactly. So I'm okay as long as we can still name the file name, and that's relevant somewhere in the game. Again, there are other games like Super Mario RPG that did that.
I think it's going to be really interesting for.
I mean, you guys know I always rename Link Ganon, for example. That's a long tradition of mine, going back to the 80s.
Interesting, and you get these amazing.
So,
where other folks are gathering around and
what was I saying?
Fight.
So that's my thoughts on that one. The voice-acted protagonist in Fallout 4 was a net positive because they did it well. I didn't like the fact there were negatives involved in it. There were points which the dialogue options were not what I wanted to say, and I wanted to say something different. But the voice acting over the options that were there was well done. I played the woman, of course, and I feel like the voice actress absolutely nailed it. I think she did a fantastic job. And everything I've heard says the same thing about the gentleman as well.
The island, so it's kind of a ritual in this society.
It's just for Legend of Zelda to hell. He is Link within the Imperium.
Can't really talk about too much, but just to mention worth paying attention to that name.
Did I miss any questions? Hang on, let me scroll up here. I feel like I missed a question. Did I miss a question? If I missed a question, please repeat it so I can.
Looks adorable.
I have to admit, Summer Haze, and I said this last night, I'm a few inches from leaning towards getting a PS4 at this point. Also, a Pichu, really? And you're playing a water type. It's okay, a Pichu doesn't get a lightning attack until like level 13. Link is not an Imperium agent, no.
You can see both.
General thoughts on Skyward Sword. Good game, terrible controls. The controls, quite literally, this is not a joke, this is not an exaggeration, gave me physical pain. I hurt after playing Skyward Sword. The controls were not as precise as I wanted them, they were too twitchy, and in many cases they actively made certain boss fights worse. They also bugged out on me more than once, and I had to recalibrate it constantly. I hated the control system of Skyward Sword. I still actually enjoyed the game. I felt like the plotline was well done, the characters were pretty well fleshed out. I loved some of the dungeon design. I absolutely loved several of the dungeons in Skyward Sword. But it had its other flaws. You know, I would still consider it a good game. I will never replay it until they let me play it with a real controller. It is going to be Agamemnon. I have been absolutely cramming my face to get ready for E3 and 4-Jump Fiesta and the upcoming SGDQ and getting the features restarted. So I haven't had time to do anything that is basically for fun, which is what the National Roleplay is. Well, it's playable on the Wii U, to hell with yours, so I'm pretty sure that by default it won't because controller. Gosh, I have not touched this in a while. I've got dust built up on my Wii U controller. For shame. There we go. Also, I do like the fact that it's confirmed that it's coming out on the Wii U. In addition to the NX, I was going to be a little upset if they pulled the... Well, they tried to pull the Twilight Princess thing again. Yeah, I do like the fact that the backgrounds on this game are varying based on the location. I don't know how many there are for that, but ooh. Worse is the one, in my personal opinion. What do I expect of the new Hyrule? I kind of already gave my thoughts on that. I really think this is after Skyward Sword. I think this is the untamed Hyrule. I think this is the Hyrule that doesn't have, you know, a massive... it's not urbanized. I think this is going to be the wilds of Hyrule, and us trying to tame that and control that and fit it together, you know, that kind of thing. That's my thinking on it.
Especially when you're trying to catch...
Even if that's not true with regards to the storyline, I do think that's going to be, you know, a more untamed Hyrule, a more... more you and the terrain than you and the people kind of an approach. That's what I think.
Nice. Good job, man. I love what a good sport How is about losing too. He's just kind of rolling with it. It's all good.
Have you ever done the 3-heart challenge in Twilight Princess? Because in my opinion, that's the hardest 3-heart challenge in any Zelda.
We don't want to show folks yet.
Oh yeah, by the way, 30th anniversary of Zelda this year. Another good reason to do this. Sorry. That was the thing that just kind of slipped into my head there.
Folks have seen before.
Wait, what? I hope so, Happy Death Days.
ただもう一つちょっと映像を持ってきていただいて、持ってきているという理解なんですけども、初めて今回初登場の新しい新モードという理解です。
ポケモンはやっぱりコミュニケーションツールとして今までこう対戦とか交換とかっていうのをやってきたんですけども、今回はさらにこう新しい形でのバトルっていうものが登場します。バトルロイヤルっていうものですね。
So with the Pokemon series, obviously, using it as a kind of a communication tool, facilitating that communication between players has always been one of the things we've really focused on with the game. So trading and battling between players, of course. This time that's no different. We've got an all-new multiplayer battle mode, which we're calling the Battle Royale.
All right, well, let's see if our crew can load that up for us, and we can check out this gameplay.
They already have it loaded up, of course.
So as we get started here, can you tell us a little bit about what the rules are for Battle Royale and how the matches are decided?
そうですね。このバトルロイヤルなんですけども、4人のプレイヤーがポケモンを3匹ずつバトルに出して戦うというルールです。今日はちょっと時間の関係で1匹にしています。
The EA conference was very disappointing, yes. I think everyone had that same reaction.
And battles with one at a time. In this video here, we're just doing one Pokemon for the sake of time.
このバトルロイヤルの勝敗についてなんですけども、誰かの手持ちのポケモンが全て倒されたら試合終了となります。
So how this actually works with how it determines the winner. So this is a free-for-all battle, but whenever one of the trainers, when the first trainer to lose all of his or her Pokemon, that signals the end of the battle.
倒したポケモンの数と、残ったポケモンの数の合計が一番多いプレイヤーが勝者となります。
And then once the battle is over, once the first person loses all of their Pokemon, to determine the winner, the game tallies up each
That's a
player,
good question,
how many
Verdom,
Pokemon they've defeated,
from what we
and also
understand,
how many
no.
Pokemon they have remaining on their team, and whoever has that highest number is the winner of the Battle Royale.
Yeah, I think it's really interesting what this is going to do for strategy as folks are playing, because generally speaking, when you're thinking about how you're going to switch up your Pokemon to fight another trainer,
No, there is not for most.
It's only a one-on-one situation, so you can look at their Pokemon and say, okay, I've got this Pokemon that's going to be strong against this one, but you're worried about 2 other opponents here, so you really have to think about who's going to fare best against a group.
3 other opponents, actually.
Yeah, it's...
そうですね、やっぱこう今までだったらこうチーム戦とか、あと1対1のポケモンバトルが、多分主流だったと思うんですけども、今回はやっぱこう相手、3人気にしなきゃいけないっていうのは、特徴ですよね。
そうですね、今回特徴としてこう4匹いるポケモンの中で誰を倒すかっていうのを考えないといけません。で例えば1匹すごい強いポケモンがいても3人で集中攻撃すれば倒せるといった戦略性もある。
So yeah, it's a free-for-all, and of course, you could have 3 people gang up on one really strong person. Or
I like him too,
really
Melching,
kind of
as I talk about in my ruminations on
how
them.
you're gonna, which order you're gonna defeat Pokemon, who you're gonna focus on. Right. So totally new gameplay dynamic.
Yeah, it is interesting how much more intense it feels. Where I'm used to just looking at the trainer in front of me and fighting them, and suddenly it's like, oh, there's 2 more trainers. I have to pay attention to everybody. And folks watching there, you may have caught that the trainers there were wearing different outfits from what we saw with the the regular player characters that we've shown off so far. We can't really talk about that yet, but worth noticing.
Yeah, you've already done cosmetics. You did that in
服装が
XY.
違うっていうのはちょっと
It's
気に
not
な
a
り
big
ました。
announcement. You don't have to tease it.
You had a good eye there.
これはあれですね、今回着せ替えが入ってます。
So yeah, you can actually customize your outfits.
Yes, I hate all art.
So
That's
we're
why I
just
disliked
about
Mass
out of time,
Effect
but
3.
before we wrap up, I was curious now that you've had a chance to see some fan reaction for these games. How's it been seeing how Pokemon fans have reacted for Pokemon Sun and Pokemon Moon?
まあちょっと時間が来てしまいましたけれども、まあ今回の、ポケモン
Still trying to get my Mew here.
多分まあファンからの反響というのはあるんですけれども、そのまあ手応えについてお話してもらえますか。
そうですね、今回、7言語から、9言語に中文を、増やしまして、特にその中文使われている人たちからもたくさん反響いただいてまして、まあ、自分のツイッターとか、いただいてるんですけども、やっぱりこう、まあ、ポケモン20周年ということもあって、ここからさらにこう広がりを見せるために、まあ、非常にこうみんなが喜んでくれて、まあ、とても嬉しいなと思ってます。
So yes, the reaction from everyone has been really great. You know, I get tons of messages and tweets and everything. This being the the 20th anniversary of Pokemon, one of the goals we really wanted to kind of for the future of Pokemon really kind of expand it
Good
to
question,
a wider
Shadow.
audience. And as
Favorite
we've
legendary?
announced previously, in
Mew.
addition to the 7 languages we had in X and Y and Omega Ruby Alpha Sapphire, we also added Chinese, simplified Chinese, and traditional Chinese. And I think a lot of especially from those regions, like fans have really been kind of excited about it and sending me lots of great messages.
And is there anything final that you'd like to wrap up and say to fans who are watching the stream right now?
ちょっと最後にまあファンに向けてのメッセージということで何かありますか？
そうですね、もう今までにないチ
Well, I'm not
ャレンジ
succeeding
を
yet,
このソフトはサンとムーンはしているので、皆さんすごい楽しみに待っていてください。
So yeah, I think Sun and Moon, we're really doing a lot of new challenges for us here as Game Freak. So I hope everyone really just look forward to the games.
Well, thank you.
まあ、自分も完全新作としてのディレクター初めてだったんで、まあ、たくさんの苦労があったんですけども、その甲斐があってすごいいいゲームができたので期待しててください。
So there was a lot of challenges for me, especially as it's the first time directing an entirely new generation of Pokemon at Game Freak. But I think we've really brought the game together. It's really turned into something fantastic, and I hope fans really look forward to it.
I know I'm definitely looking forward to it. And thank you so much for joining us and giving us
still
some
telling me I
insight
can't
into
pick
the
up the Mew.
development work here.
It's the right
Watching
code.
again,
It
that
just tells
was
me I
Pokemon
can't
Sun
get it
and
on this
Pokemon Moon,
cartridge.
which are coming out for the Nintendo 3DS family of systems this November, so you don't
I'll
have to wait
have to
too
look
much
at that
longer. And please don't go anywhere. In a few moments, we're actually going to be coming back. Aonuma-san is going to be stopping by to show us some gameplay for a game you might be thinking about, Legend of Zelda Breath of the Wild. So please don't go anywhere. We'll be right back. Thank you.
So, my list of games to do explorations on is colossal. So, I'm not going to say no. Do I not get a Mew because I live in the States? What is with Nintendo and being better in Europe than in the States? Gosh darn it. Well. So, the spear looks awesome. One of the things I liked about God of War 2 in particular was the multiple weapon types and how each of them genuinely changed the style of play, whereas opposed to God of War 3 where they had multiple weapons but several of them kind of felt the same. So, what can you get in Japan, Frozen? That's not true. Our burgers are better. No, I don't know. Let's see some Zelda stuff. Gosh darn it. You're welcome, Darkrai. Seriously, I'm going with, absolutely going with Moon. I'm already decided on that one. Oh, that would, yeah. Does anyone know the US code? Shin Megami Tensei. Okay. No, PAX, it's just Zelda. They're just covering Zelda. I should type that out, because I don't know if he's actually watching me. So, let me just go ahead and say that went on too long. That went on way too long. You don't need to showcase that much of a Pokemon game. It's a Pokemon game. People who are already interested in it are already going to pick it up, and people who are Well, what does the US get then? And people who aren't interested in Pokemon are probably already going to stay not interested in it. I hate to say that because that was actually generally a good presentation if it had been about a quarter of the length. Actually get up there, talk with the developers, proper translator, genuinely playing the game live, cool with it. But that needed to be chopped down a lot in time. Especially since they said flat out and have advertised almost a month in advance that they're really talking about the new Zelda, and this is the Zelda 30th anniversary, and this is the Zelda event basically. You need to not pull that kind of a bait and switch, but the presenter was good, and they actually played the game properly, and that's cool. I like that. Positives and negatives, just like everything is. Square has been doing something every day liberated and will continue to until Thursday. Someone asked earlier if there's a Square Enix conference. No. They're just doing constant stuff. They did stuff yesterday, they did stuff today, they're doing stuff tomorrow, they're doing stuff Thursday. Just over and over and over and over and over. That's why I'm not covering Square Enix in one chunk, because there's no one chunk to cover. I would have to just kind of be restreaming their stream for like 12 hours for 4 days. I have been poking at the Square Enix stream several times to see what they're doing and keeping up with it. Like I said, I've seen quite a bit of FF15. The gameplay really does genuinely look good to me. It looks like a game that fits with me. I've talked about that concept before, the idea that some things just kind of click. I call it Tetris philosophy. Some things just fit with you better than others. And FF15's gameplay does genuinely look like it fits with me. I really like what I've seen. If it comes out on PC, that'd be great. Thanatos will be discussing the Square Enix stuff kind of in a loose Q&A format while we're going through the 4-Job Fiesta, because I think that's a good way to do that. FF15 got footage at Microsoft's conference too, by the way, not just Sony's. Yeah, everything I've seen seems very Kingdom Hearts-like. Yeah, I do actually, like I said, I prefer Nintendo Directs. It is understandable, again, why they'd want to do a big thing for the Zelda anniversary here. I'm kind of in the same boat as you on that, Happy Daffodils. I like the Kingdom Hearts style gameplay. I like the Secret of Mana style gameplay. I like the Devil May Cry style of gameplay. If they pull it off well, if it's smooth, if they do several things right with regards to the presentation, cool, I'm with it. And it does look like they are, genuinely. No news yet, Craze, and to my knowledge, no news schedule. They haven't even mentioned it in anything. Remake, proper remake or a regular remake, so big difference. Yeah, I agree with what Pax said. It is, the fact that Square Enix is doing this 4-day thing is ridiculous. And if you've actually watched any of their actual streams, they're terrible. They have 2 people up there who barely speak correct English. And I don't mean like their accent is heavy. I mean their actual their grammar and their structure of their word choice is awful. And so they actually have a bit of a difficulty in talking, in presenting. And then they just talk for like 20 minutes, and then they show a trailer, and then they talk for about 5 minutes, and then they show a trailer, and they talk for about 10 minutes, and then they show a little bit of a gameplay trailer, and then they talk. And that's been Square's presentation so far. It's awful. So, yeah. Wait, what? On June 15th. Is that Nintendo? Hang on. This is news to me. It's not bad, Kay. It's understandable. So, this is something that's news to me. On June 15th, that's tomorrow at 1 p.m. Eastern Standard Time, they're doing a Q&A with Pokemon Go, which I admit I'm kind of interested in. And then they will show off upcoming games, including Monster Hunter Generations, Tokyo Mirage Session, something with Fire Emblem, and Dragon Quest VII. Agreed. Formosan. Absolutely agreed on that. Hey, Roaring. I actually agree with that, Ilisk. I completely agree. Have your games playable. Have your brief. Here's our announcements. Let it ride. But as we've discussed many, many times, E3 is not actually for us. And hey, Deutsch, where'd Yuko show up? So, yeah, I am too, Daffodils. You were right, Pax. You were right. I didn't know. So, okay, proper remake. Morrowind. I'm sorry, no question. I love Morrowind, even though I can't go back and play it. It's the same problem I have with the original Fallout, you know? I love the game. I just can't go back and enjoy it anymore because of the interface. Let me replay Morrowind and really sink my teeth into that game again. You know, New Vegas, I can go back and play right now and enjoy it right now, you know? I don't think New Vegas really needs a proper remake in the same way that Morrowind does. Hey, Darker.
Hey everybody, welcome back to Nintendo Treehouse Live at E3. I'm Ed, here with Bill and Noriko, as well as a very special guest, Mr. Ayanuma, has joined us here. We're going to talk a little bit about a little game here that I think a lot of people are excited about, The Legend of Zelda Breath of the Wild. Before we jump right into things, though, Mr. Ayanuma, I think, is there anything, a message you have to the fans?
青沼さんからファンへのメッセージを。
ゼルダのね、当たり前を見直すって言って作ってきたこの、ブレスオブザワイルド、いっぱい話したいことあるんですけど、もうトレーラーも見ていただいたし、ファンの皆さんは早くゲーム見たいと思ってると思うんですね。なのでもうゲーム始めたいと思うんですけど。
So I've created this game thinking about breaking the conventions of Zelda, and I know that a lot of fans have seen the trailer, and they probably want us to jump right in. So why don't we get started?
Let's do it.
Yeah!
We're going to be showing a lot of
No,
The Legend
shut
of
up.
Zelda today,
Shut
starting
up.
right here.
Shut up.
We're going to show you what you can do,
Shut
and
up.
we're
No
going
one
to
likes
introduce
you.
you to this amazing world, but we're going
No
to
one
try
likes
not
you.
to spoil anything, so feel free to tune in for as long as you like.
Shush.
ネタバレなしで。
I'll follow my own advice here. Loading.
Open your eyes. Open your eyes. Wake up, Link.
This is a very mysterious place, Aonuma-san.
ちょっと神秘的な場所ですけれども。
そうですね。
あ
ゼルダの当たり前を見直すって言いながら、昔いつもと同じような目覚めるシーンから始まってますけどね。
I've talked about breaking the conventions of Zelda, but Link does start by waking up.
Keep that rooted in the tradition.
伝統を守るという感じでいいんじゃないでしょうか。
ただまあ本当にミステリアスな、ね、場所で不思議な感じですよね。
This really is a mysterious place, and it's kind of very.
Actual gameplay again, by the way, not a pre-recording. Again, they get points for that.
That is a Sheikah slate. Take it. It will help guide you after your long slumber.
So here we see the introduction of a very mysterious item.
神秘的なアイテムが出てきましたが。
ね、ゼルダって今まで剣と魔法のね、その世界だったんです。
It looks a lot like a Wii U controller.
テクノロジーのような感じですね。
So in the past series, we've used swords and magic, but this time around, we introduced technology.
I know a lot of people are going to be so excited to see how that plays out in this game because that's such a great new wrinkle to add to the Zelda franchise.
シーガーストーンがどんな感じでゲームで使われるのかっていうのをファンの皆さんが期待していると思います。
でもやっぱり宝箱を開けるんです。
And so, he's going to start by opening the treasure box.
宝箱から出てきたのね、服なんですね。
These are clothing items that he can wear.
リンク今まで裸同然でしたから。
Link was pretty much naked.
これ裸でもできるけどね。
So Bill, you can actually play this nude too if you want.
Not quite my style.
僕のスタイルではないのに遠慮しておきます。
はい、OK です。
That would also make you very vulnerable to enemies, just so you know.
で、敵にもちょっとそれで防備力が下がってしまう。
That will show you the way.
And so we see here one of the functionalities of the Sheikah Slays activating
これがシーカストーンの
this pedestal.
機能の一つです。
I was going to say, Fee in Skyward Sword was pretty clearly technology as well, along with her counterpart. I hate to nitpick, but tech in Zelda is not a new idea. I'm okay with it, obviously.
So it starts.
By the way, I've already predicted that this is the same Skyward Link.
You are the light. Our light. That must shine upon Hyrule once again. Now go.
Actually, the idea of a naked run for challenge actually sounds like something that already is going to be a thing. What do you want to bet? No, not the
So
stamina
you can see
meter.
on
I
the screen
hated
it
that in
says
Skyward.
jump. Now Link can jump for the first time.
その
in
ジャン
the
プはああ
series.
やって壁を登るためなんですね。
And the jump is for him to climb up the wall.
Now that is gorgeous. Death Mountain visible. Now that looks a lot like a castle over there, so maybe it isn't completely untamed.
Can we see the subtitle on screen? Perhaps this would be a good time for Aonuma-san to talk about that a little bit.
サブタイトルが画面に出てきましたけども、これについてちょっとご説明いただけますか。
ゼルダってね、今までアイテム名とかキャラクター名がサブタイト
There
ル
you
に出る
go.
こ
There's a
とが多かった
rather clearly constructed building right there.
この世界そのものの名前です。
So in the previous
that a Goron?
titles, we used
Tell me it's a
character
Goron.
names and item names as subtitles, but this time around we wanted to.
Liking the interface so far.
Wanted
Again, I
to,
do like a minimalist
showcase the
interface
world
when it comes to this
Zelda.
kind of gameplay.
And I think, especially from that sweeping panoramic shot right there, we see how much of a character the world is, how much of a presence the world is in this. And I know, hearing some of the iterations of possibilities for the subtitle, and
I'm actually thinking in that direction now,
when I first
Renegade,
heard
honestly.
Breath of the Wild, and it was just like, oh, that's it, that's the right one. It felt so right with in tune with the nature and the sort of expansiveness of this world.
このゲームの背景を見たり、その自然の要素
Agreed, Hylas. This is some good stuff.
初めてそのサブタイトルを
Also notice the tutorial section of the intro was quite short,
これだ
which it should
これ
be.
がもう二人合うっていうふうに感じ
It
ます
should be short.
はい、こうやってね、どんどんね、
Also, I would not have thought that mountain he just climbed up was
So
climbable.
Link can climb the mountain or the
That's
wall,
cool.
just like you said, you saw here.
で横に緑色のゲージがありますけど、頑張りゲージって言って、あれが
Also, you notice we're wielding a stick. Hell
So that
yes.
is the green. You see the green gauge on the left. That's the stamina gauge, and you can kind of see how much he can climb by that gauge.
で、世界に転がっていろんなものをね、どんどん手に入れることができるわけ。
And then there's a lot of items scattered all around the world, and you can take those. You can pick those up.
任天堂といえば、
I like the loot
Nintendo,
indicator.
we, of course,
It's a nice way to help
have
it
this
pop
right
out.
here.
It's not too obvious, but it's
love
nice and
mushrooms.
apparent. You know, there's loot over here. I like that.
このキノコは大きくなったりしませんか？
Roll the. Come on, tell me you can roll the
This mushroom
boulder.
is not going to make Link any bigger.
Yes. Sorry.
Good to know.
はい。こうやって大きな岩とかもね、落 したりいろいろしてこうやってその世界にあるいろんなものにこうリンクがこういろいろアクションできるんですね。
So as you can see, Link can push off big rocks down the hill. He can use all these little items and elements and incorporate it into gameplay.
Yeah, it's a good
See
comparison,
already-
Renegade.
Bill doing some gathering.
You can
button
loot while
climbing
climbing.
here.
Another big
And
positive.
already there's this sense of you're just thrown into this world of exploration right off the bat.
What?
探検をするっ
Head
て
for
い
the
うの
point
が
marked on the map in your Sheikah slate.
誰かに
I am under the.
somebody's
What's
following
that
you, though.
speech she gives over and over and over in LTTP if you don't hurry up? That's what I just got there. That
So
flash.
here we get our first look at the map. This circular area here being the extent of the E3 demo that we're showing. This is a high plateau in the center of Hyrule. We'll give you just a sneak peek of how big that is, but I think you'll get to see a better look at the scale of the world later on today.
ハイラルの真ん中に位置しているリスバーの見れる
Sorry, Taito.
マップは後でまた別の機会にお見せしましょう。
No, I got a baked apple.
It was optional to one.
あ怒られちゃう。
I beg your pardon. You just took my baked apple.
Oh.
I'm just kidding. Please
Now,
enjoy.
who is this gentleman, Mr. Aonuma? Would you like to share with people?
この男性は誰なんでしょうか。ご説明いただけますか。
不思議ですね。
Okay, never mind. He's not a
It's
Goron.
kind of mysterious
Darn.
looking.
ね一番最初のゼルダで出会ったのもこういうローズでしたよね。
And in the first of the series,
Yes,
I
there
think
is a
you met
Lyria.
a guy like this.
He says this is the Great Plateau, and he describes it as the birthplace of the Kingdom of Hyrule.
ハイラル王国の誕生
According to legend.
始まりの大地という。
もうちょっとなんか遺跡のような感じになってしまってる神殿ですね。
So you can see
The
the temple
decline
is
of the
very,
kingdom.
worn down.
Yes, he says the kingdom is in a state of decay.
なんか王国がちょっと崩壊しているっていう。
どういうこと？
So I picked up a tree
I hope
branch
so,
earlier. Currently, it's all I have for a weapon, but you can see very quickly the things that I can do with a tree branch.
でさっき枝をピックアップしたんですけども、これが唯一の今持っている武器なんだけども、結構いろんなことができる。
Cool. It could be LTTP timeline.
そんなにいろいろ火つけたらやる
Damn.
大変なことに
See,
な
I
るん
was
ですよ
pretty certain about the post Skyward thing until I heard that about the kingdom already being ruined.
I think we've just seen a window into Bill's play style.
ビルのプレイスタイルが
You notice the axe there had stats, by the way, and comparative stats.
picked up,
Your
an
stick does
axe,
2 damage, the axe
and
does 3
so I
damage.
can also
Just pointing it out.
swap
This
my
kind of
weapons
stats have
out.
always
So I'll
existed in
switch over
Zelda,
to the
but
axe.
actually showing them on the UE
The
is
axe
new.
is great because I can
And yeah, I predicted this
chop
too.
down trees if I want to get to some
木を
apples,
切り倒して
Notice you get a stick out of
Use
the
all
tree
the
too.
resources.
right? I can even chop the logs that I've
作った
cut
り
to get
Cool.
firewood,
Cool.
which I can later use to set a campfire.
丁寧に全部こう紐で巻いてあるってすごいですね。
So it's very nice, neatly bundled up already for you.
It's amazing.
Convenient. Yeah, I think honestly, first time I got my hands on the realm, I spent the first 20 minutes like chopping down trees and climbing trees. That's all I did.
I'm pretty sure we're all gonna do
こ
that.
のこのゲームを初めてプレイした時に、とりあえずもうなんか木を切り倒したり
Hello. I know what
木
you
の
are.
することに集中してました。
That is a
I've always been a
Korok.
big fan of the
And
Koroks.
Koroks are degeneratives of Kokiri, which
この子
means
たちはね、この世界の
a lot of
至る所にこう
things, actually.
隠れてるんですね。
So these guys are actually hiding everywhere in the world here.
What do we have
What's-
there?
あれ
Aonuma-san, that looks like I've already come across the Master Sword.
this might actually be after
Maybe
Spirit
have it.
Tracks.
見つかってしまったか。
Did you
Or
get it already? Did you
this
find
may
it?
be the LTTP timeline. Because remember, the Kokiri have no presence in any
Oh.
timeline other than the Wind Waker
残念
one.
でした。
No.
Sorry.
こんなところにね、そんな重要なものがな置いてあるわけないで
Yeah,
しょ。
there's no way I'm going to play something that important here.
Good
That
question,
would be
Rory.
the
Don't
ultimate
know
in
yet.
breaking with the Zelda conventions.
それはなんかゼルダの当たり前を見直すっていうのの一番
Too little info, Zoan.
Now I do need a shield, so I think I'm gonna run up this way. As you can see, the world is open to me. I can go any direction that I want, but I'm gonna run up here through the grass. I have a sword, so perhaps I should cut some grass.
So,
Of course you can.
But nothing's coming out.
でも何も出てきません。
これさ、もう
Good
リンク
question,
は
Kay.
ダメージ受けたらどうやって回復するんだって話ですよね。
So I guess you want to know how Link can get life
はい。じゃあちょっと敵と
after
戦って
getting
み
a
ましょう。
damage. So let's try fighting some of these enemies.
Bill has stumbled onto a goblin camp here.
Yeah, as I say, I kind of like the goblins apparently, not moblins.
Well, he's gonna dispatch them with some extreme prejudice here, I think.
It probably will be Zoan. This is their first effort after
There
all.
we go. It's not much of a shield, but I've got a pot lid.
とりあえずシールドをゲットしました。
Uh-oh. Oh, he's taunting me. Oh no, I'm gonna need some health here in a bit.
Don't know what it says.
No. And his sword broke.
His sword just broke.
Uh-oh.
Oh, your shield broke.
Oh,
Again,
I
not a new
stole his
mechanic to
spear.
Zelda.
今回ね、リンクが持ってる武器はね、使ってるうちに壊れちゃうんですよ。
So for this title, the weapons that Link have actually will break as he uses them.
で今ビルも
You probably didn't notice it, but that literally showed on the tooltip exactly how much health that steak will heal. So it'll actually show in hearts how much you'll heal from eating the health
So
items.
the cycle of this game is that you go into a battle with enemies and then you take their weapons, and then so you can use them as your own.
Now, if they're making an entire mechanic
So
out of that kind of
perhaps we'll head down
scavenging,
and check out some of these
I imagine we
ruins.
either don't get the Master Sword till later, or, here's an interesting thought, we never actually wield the Master Sword as a weapon. Remember how rusted it
So
looked?
your heart's getting a little lower, Bill.
ハートをどうやったら回復できるかというと、
So let's
そ
see
の
how you
キ
can.
ノコを取ってましたけど、その下に
It
ハー
says
ト
right
マーク
there, the shroom will heal half a
You can see
heart,
that little heart
the apple will
icon,
heal half a heart.
on the
これはハー
mushroom.
トが半分回復することを指してます。
And then it shows that you can get half of the heart back if you
で
eat it.
今回はね、草を切ってハートを
Notice the
回復するのは
broken
リンクは物を
golem
食べ
right
て
there, by the
回
way.
復します
So this time around, you're not
Two
going
of
to
them.
find any hearts
Three
in
of
the
them.
grass, but you're going to be eating these food items, and you can get your energy, stamina back up.
Using that way to replenish your health. I love that notion of really having to take advantage of the resources in the world with grabbing the weapons we were talking about. You know, you're getting those from enemies. You're finding them in certain places and then using the food as this resource to keep your health up is also really interesting. It's a lot of fun.
周りにある敵の武器だったり
That was brutal.
食べ物
You
だったり
can throw the
そういう
spear
装備を
too.
駆使して進めていくっていうゲームのスタイルがすごく楽しいです。
そうですね、だからね、
Yeah, I'd
サ
like
バイ
that,
バルな
but
感
whatever.
じですよ
That's probably
ね
not going to be an option.
現地でとにかくいろんなものを調達しなきゃいけない。
Okay, that's the first thing we've
So
seen that is
it's like a survival game
definitively
where
a
you have
crafting
to
item. The
Get all,
Bokoblin
collect all
horn.
these items so you can move on with the game.
Hey, Raskar.
Nice.
Okay.
Shooting the flurry rush.
フラリア
ね、あれは
Very badly.
敵の攻撃に対してビルがうまくこうジャンプで避けたんですよね。そうするとスローモー
Yes,
ションになって
Food Dogs. There's a jump button.
ヒットを与えやすくなるんですね。
So when you get a perfect timing, the enemy slows down and then it's easier for you to attack the enemies.
Looks like I got a new pair of trousers, which I've been needing to pick up. So,
新しいパンツをゲットしたので、これに着替えます。
okay. You can see that there's quite a lot to look around at and discover in the world. I'm gonna run past those barrels there.
周りにいろいろあるので、いろいろと探求心というか、辺りを見回すのがすごく楽しいです。
Aonuma-san, we don't have a good idea of what's going on
There's
in
two
Hyrule
more
here,
of the
but,
golems.
everything seems to be in ruin.
ちょっとハイドルが後輩化とい
You
うか、
can climb on the
復活してしまっているので
robots.
そうですね。これ
Or
も
golems.
昔のトレーラーでもお見せしました。今回のトレーラーにいたガーディアンですね。
So you saw these guys in the trailer, they're
って
guardians,
いう敵なんですけど、今動かなくなっちゃってますね。もう。
and they're enemies, but as you can see, these guys are not moving anymore.
だからなんかその間にこう 時間の経過っていうのがあるんでしょうね。
So there must be some sort of a time lapse.
So I know a lot of people are going to be really excited about how you're dropped into this world, and there's minimal backstory. There's not a lot up front in this game other than here you are. What are you going to do? What do you want to do? Where do you want to go? And then yet there's so many hints in this environment about that hint to something greater has happened.
That's called visual storytelling.
People will be really interested to see the story sort of unfold as they play the game.
You notice the second time you loot something, it doesn't play the whole jingle. It just does a little.
こうやってゲームを進めていくうちにいろいろとヒントが見つかって、あ、こんなんなんじゃないか、あんなんなんじゃないかっていうふうに考え始めることで、ユーザーさんも楽しまれるんじゃないか。
Come on, roll into
そ
them.
うですね。
Wait, is there a roll in
やっ
this
ぱり
one?
そういうことが自然とこう分かってくるっていうのが面白いじゃないですか。ゲームって端的にこういろいろ伝えたくなっちゃうんですけど、今回はねそういうところがもうじわじわとこう。
Wouldn't be the first time, Lava.
ぜひ楽しみにしてほしいと思いますね。
So I think with this title, you'll be able to learn these backstories, like you said, Ed. That you'll be able to learn them.
Yeah,
little
it's
by
a Temple
little
of
on
Time.
your own pace. It's not that the game is telling you, but you can kind of
Very
find out on
overgrown
your
Temple
own.
of Time. It's been a while
This might also be a good
for
time
grass
to talk a
to
little
be
bit
in the
about the
temple.
art style and just the nature of the game itself. If you look at Link and the world, it's clearly deeply inspired by Japanese animation.
で、今このリンクのアートスタイルなんかを見ると、日本のアニメに随分と影響を受けているんじゃないかっていうふうなことが感じられますけど、どうでしょうか。
そうですね。ゼルダで言うとね。
I hope we don't get the sword lessons. I really do think we shouldn't pick up the Master Sword. It makes too much sense in my head for us to not wield it in this one.
そういう世界が広くその自然の
Hey,
中
Snow.
に
Welcome
も
to
のがあるん
Joy.
ですけど、それをはっきり分からせるためには描き込むよりももっと簡素なマイナスしていくね、削っていってはっきりそれを分からせるこういうアニメーションの技法の方が
Yeah, by the way, you do notice the general absence of music, but instead there's like
we've
this
used this tune like style before in the previous
non-music
title,
playing.
But in order for the players to see an item, to find an item, it's actually easier to use the animation style where you create something and then you shave off the elements, so the users will be able to identify the items easier rather than adding on elements to the background.
なのでそのアニメーション
Yeah, ambience. Thank you. Thank you. Like Doug said, like Zwan said. Yeah.
それをね
So yeah, they have a demo that's artificially capped at a timer.
Is not that we wanted
That's
to
what
create
happened there.
An animation style game, but we wanted to use this art style and then match it to the functions of this game.
And yeah, the noise meter
And you see
is there
here
too.
the time limit on the
We
demo that
ran
people
into
have
a
access
slight-
to on the show floor.
Yeah, that's the.
We
they're-
were supposed
like
to
I said.
disable that. That was my mistake.
That's all right. That's all right.
But
These things happen.
We were supposed to
we'll
disable the
skip
time limit.
through a few things.
Lol.
It's an organic playthrough. It's true to the nature of the game itself.
で、ゲームの本当の自然な形に今沿っているので、こんな感じ
Where's my wallet again?
今日体験してもらえるものを生
Yeah,
で
it's not going into the screen.
So yeah, this is
Seriously,
something that the
sold.
users will experience tonight on the show floor.
Sold.
So
And I think people saw, that actually gives people at home a sense of how much time people are
That
gonna
is
have
why you
here.
pre-record it.
And
You are
as
supposed to
Reggie said,
pre-record it. As I said,
nobody's
I'm
gonna be
okay
able
with
to explore
pre-recording.
even just this
I'm just not
small
okay with them
area that
not
we're
being
showing
honest
here
about
at
it.
E3, and that speaks to just how large this experience is going to be. And I think that people are going to be really excited to just get that little taste of it.
さっきレジも言ってましたけれども、
Based on that,
今日
time limit looks like
今回
about
ソフトウェア
40-ish
でデモし
minutes.
ても本当に一部の部分しかマップの一部しかゲーム内の一部しかプレイできないので、今のこの切れてしまいましたけれども、それでどれぐらいの本当短い時間にどれぐらい
was gonna
ちょっ
comment on
としか
something.
見れないかっていうの
Someone
が
asked a question. Hang on, let me scroll back up.
皆さんにも分かったんですけど、皆さんにも分かったんじゃないかと。
そうですね。
But in going back and talking about the art style, the colors are very reminiscent of a type of paint called gouache. And gouache was actually it's a
Agreed,
material that
Alice.
is used frequently in animation. But it's also a material that's used in a style of painting that is called en plein air, or in English, open air painting, where you go out into the environment and you sit down in front of the object that you intend to paint, and you paint it in that real world setting. And then, as we started looking at the art style and its similarities to gouache and that connection, we also started to feel that the music in the game also has a very
No
open air
information
feeling to
yet,
it. Isn't that
Thanatos.
correct, Aonuma-san?
このアートスタイルも随分そうやってグワッシュとか使っているような感じのスタイルですけれども、
Notice how he's kind of casually trying to start the game back up
ぴったりな気がするんですけ
to
ど
get
も、
back to a
そこら
point where
辺
they
の
can
ご説明
showcase
っていうの
something.
をお願いできますか。
ね、どこに行って何をするのも自由な今回のゲームなのでね、あるルートに沿って遊んでってもらって、その間に音楽を盛り立てていくみたいなことが今回は使えないんですね。
So because the players will be able to explore and do anything that they want to, we couldn't use the conventional types of music where we know that where the users would go and we can
There we
kind
go.
of get
Told
the
ya.
music
He
more
was getting it going
dynamic
again.
as the users explore certain areas of
That
the
is
map.
correct,
So
OJ.
this time around we kind of took a different
They've only
approach.
referenced the NX
なので
once,
今回は、
henceforth.
ゲームの BGM をですね、環境音、今大自然の中のこの音がありますので、それに
Yaks.
融合させるような BGM の
Yeah, he's speedrunning now.
使い方をして
He's
いる
like, come on, quick!
So, as you can hear,
Quick.
there's a lot of environmental sounds that you hear throughout the game, and then we
I really do
try
like
to,
the ambiance.
blend that music, that sound into the game.
Nice. You notice how the axe feels like this big, heavy weapon? Do you see that in the way the animation's different and the swing time is different?
And then you can hear
As
the
it should be.
piano sounds of piano throughout the game, I think.
ピアノのね音っていうのはこの自然の音にすごくマッチするんですね。
Yeah, he went in a new
And then the
direction
sounds of
too,
piano
because he
actually
can.
matches this,
But he probably has other
nature
stuff he wants to show
element
off.
very well.
So those guys are from Minish Cap, is what I remember them most.
And then the sounds
Yeah,
of
the
piano
choo-choos.
actually kind of strikes a chord in people's emotions too. So I think it works really well.
なのでリンクが何かの目的のもとで
Well,
何かをしようとし
if
て
I
いる
know
時にたま
Nintendo's
たま偶然
presentation
またその
correctly, I have a
ピアノ
feeling he's trying to showcase something in
ぐっと気
particular.
持ちが盛り上がって
So when
It depends,
when you're playing
absurdity.
the game and when
Depends on
Link
how you
goes through
present it.
something, and then if that piano sound happens to come on, it kind of it makes you feel so emotional just hearing that perfect match of the movement and the music.
だって本当の偶然の出会い
Yeah, by the way, there
だから
were health bars
100人いたら100人の人が違う体
under,
験をする
or over, excuse me, over the
と
enemies.
感じてほしくてそういう
So the music is our intention was to, because this game it has 100 ways of playing it if there is 100 players playing it. So we kind of wanted to make that that very unique experience for every player.
So is music
I know
optional?
longtime fans of the series, that's going to be one of the first things they notice. You know, there's not the constant theme music always present everywhere you go. And
That's a
this new
surreptitiously
take on the
positioned
sort of-
boulder.
on the aural experience is really refreshing. It's true to the game, and it does resonate. It feels really good to play.
Someone earlier made the comment that this is going to feel like a very lonely Zelda. I think the lack of music is going to add to that significantly.
すごくみんな気づくと思うんですけれども違いにでもやっぱり青沼さんがおっしゃったように本当に心にグッとくるような音楽なのですごくこのプレイスタイルに合っていると思います。
Yeah, open world is, I've said it before, it's one of the hardest types of games to make. Right up there with an MMO.
Bill,
That was my
continuing
biggest
the
concern
campaign of brutality.
when they talked about this game initially. Was
Yes, I forgot to.
this is going to be
Sorry,
difficult to
I
get
forgot
up,
to put
get
this on.
pull off correctly. I'm liking what I see so far.
Just like any other day.
So we do have, one of the things that we're not showing in this morning segment that's going to be coming up in just a little bit is puzzle solving. You'll be seeing some of that today. You'll be seeing quite a bit of exploration and the ways to use the objects that you've discovered. But one of the things, there's a lot of different ways that you can kind of experiment with the environment and the world here in Breath of the Wild. So I'm just going to have a little bit of fun with a little project I want to try out here.
後々午後のセグメントでは
That'd be a cool idea,
謎解きだったり
Food Dogs.
いろいろ
I don't know
な
though.
他のマップの他のエリアの
Anyone out there actually
なんか
play
もしますけ
Dragon
ど
Quest VII?
ちょっと今回はビルがやりたかったビルのプロジェクトにちょっと今集中して
集中してて何をしてんのこれ
Oh. Okay, well,
I like that you call this setup a project, Bill.
let's see.
ほぼ何がしたいか分かりません
I don't know what you're trying to do here, Bill.
Let's see if it's close enough. Nope. Oh.
Get another club?
Let's see if we can make that happen.
Oh god.
Oh, no, not quite.
あ、なんとなく分か
Club
った
will try one
Maybe I have an
more.
idea here.
Oh,
Hey, you live.
I did. I survived.
死なずに.
Well done.
Now,
でもかなりやばい状態なん
that
で
was
But look at your heart, Bill.
that was quite dangerous.
Thank you for joining us for
I
Bill's
actually,
project.
we have a little, we have a little bit of news. I think everybody has been excited for some special Zelda items coming to Miitomo.
なんかミートモに新しいゼルダのアイテムが登場するということで。
We've just been told that those items will be going live at 3 p.m. Pacific time, so be sure to check into Miitomo today to get your free Zelda-themed items there.
Oh, Miitomo.
We have a lot more Zelda coming up
A lot
today.
more Zelda.
As we've talked about, we're really focusing on introducing you to the world, the things you can do in the world, how you're going to be surviving. It's really all about the actions and the activities. You won't be seeing so much in terms of characters and story. So if you're the type of person who doesn't want to be spoiled, feel free to tune in all day.
Yeah.
で今日も午後からいろいろと
Miitomo is some stupid mobile thing to do. So, I bring up Dragon Quest VII because one of the big themes of Dragon Quest VII is rebuilding the world after it already was lost, basically. And I have a feeling that they might be going with a similar thing with this one, trying to rebuild Hyrule, since it's already been ruined,
Yes,
basically.
so stay tuned. We're going to take another look at our next segment. We're going to be focused on some exploration. So thank you, Noriko, Mr. Ainuma. Thank you, Bill. Thank you very much for your time. And don't go anywhere. We got more Legend of Zelda Breath of the Wild coming up.
And now, 7 minutes of setup. What do you think, guys? I'll admit, I'm already buying it. I'm already buying it. But I have to admit, in the interest of total honesty, no fanboying. Wow, this is loud. No fanboying, no nothing like that. In total legitimacy, I'm still really hesitant. This would be a very, very easy way. This would be very easy for them to screw up. What they are doing is very ambitious and very difficult to pull off correctly. And I'm concerned, about how well they're going to do. The thing I want to know more than anything else, and I know this is just the lore in me talking, when it happens in the Zelda franchise. There's some very clear denominators indicating other aspects of the Zelda series. I was pointing them out as we went through there. But everything I'm seeing so far seems to indicate that it's happening the closest to the future. This might be this might be after Zelda 2. This might be in between Zelda 1 and Zelda 2. Or, no, excuse me, before Zelda 1. This might be after Spirit Tracks in that timeline. This might be after, I guess, Twilight Princess in that timeline. Who knows, But yeah, I agree. This is clearly them being ambitious. And you know what? If nothing else, I want to applaud Nintendo on that. They have screwed up so many times, and they have made mistakes constantly, but I still prefer the ambitious company that fails 9 times out of 10 than the company that plays it safe. That is just me, the person, the gamer, not professionally, not economically, but that is my preference, and that's one of the reasons why I do still kind of stand by Nintendo to this day. That they still make games that are fun to play. So nobody answered me earlier. What's the U.S. legendary we're getting? Someone answered me that question. Someone probably did, but I didn't see it because we shipped it over to Zelda. No, it's not done. They're just taking forever. God, that is so loud. Hey, Samurai. Here's the wallet! There! That's your answer. What do you think of me, Darkrai? Oh, thanks for the link. Appreciate it. Pichachu! What the heck is a Pichachu? I already did that, Macon. I actually even explained what they were doing with FF15, why they were pushing it so hard, you know? I already talked about that. I did notice that, Illyria. Like I said, I genuinely think they should go in a direction where the Master Sword is not a weapon this time around. Maybe it's a symbol, maybe it's a tool, maybe we only use it on the last boss. Maybe we never use it at all. Maybe it's just emblematic of ruined Hyrule. Just my thought. Okay, have fun when you get there, period. What? Okay, have fun when you get there, period. Stupid thing. Wait, seriously? We get a frickin' Pikachu? I don't like Pikachu. Now, this is pretty much the opposite of what Sony did. Sony had a pre-programmed, like, basically just let the video play presentation. And being honest, that is a little bit better than it should be. That is a little bit better than this. That is what you should do with regards to a presentation like this. This is what you happen when you have a live presentation where people screw up, where we have tons of time in between sessions like we did with the previous time, and we're having right now. And you have things like, oh, we forgot to turn off the time limit on the demo. It's nice to see the sincerity of it, but from a purely presentation standpoint, this is actually worse than what Sony did, for example. So that's part of why I turned the volume all the way down. In fact, I'm just gonna turn it off. You don't need to hear this, hang on. So we're gonna put this here and then turn it off. There you go. I'll endure the horrible audio in case they start saying something. But oh my god. So I already got the Manaphy. Shaman, don't care. Arceus, don't care. Victini, already have. Keldeo, don't care. Genesect, I might pick up just to get it. Meloetta, cool. Oh no, I never actually answered that question. What is my favorite starter? Gen 2's Grass. I don't remember its name, but that's my favorite starter. My favorite in general, I assume you mean type. I usually lean towards grass types. I've always had just a weird fondness of grass types. Probably part of the reason for that is because I feel grass types were so underrepresented in the earlier generations. So I kind of lean towards grass types. In terms of utility, the fire types usually tend to be better. Chikorita, thank you. But you know, I almost always pick grass type in general. Let me make this clear, Formosan. My rumination schedule's full right now. Do not donate for rumination because I can't fulfill that request for a year. I've got 48 additional ruminations to do before I even think about new ruminations. It's already on the list. It's already scheduled. Exploring, a little bit different. I'm much more open about explorations, but I'm not sure you want me to, but I'm going to go ahead and say that I'm at least open to the idea. Don't ask me to do a lore run of the Silent Hill series. I'm basically chopped off. No more lore runs until I feel like I am a little bit better in a position to start doing lore runs again. And I've already got... And lore runs are such a gigantic time and money and investment thing that I don't want to just go ahead and, you know, say, oh, God, I'm going to start up a new lore run. No, the reason we hit so many lore runs back to back to back to back from, like, October till the WoW lore run was because I had been saving up lore runs up until that point in time, and then I just hit them out, you know, one after another, because, you know, that's how that works. So right now I am not taking lore run requests at all. I am thinking about stuff to be doing for lore runs. Dragon Quest, Diablo! But I haven't actually put any real work into prepping for that. I've just been having it in the back of my head. Explorations, as always, are much, much more of a viability and things that I want to do in general. But I also, it is worth noting, have a colossal queue of games. Ooh. to do for explorations, including a lot of games people have specifically bought for me, saying, "Here, please cover this game on your stream." I mean, just last night, Samurai gave me.
House Live at E3. I'm Sam, joined by my colleagues Nate, Chico, and Teresa. So just a few minutes ago, Anuma-san gave us an introduction to Legend of Zelda Breath of the Wild and the
Haven't
plateau.
decided, Taito.
And now we're going to do some exploring and just check out a little bit more of what the plateau has to offer.
Yeah, and yeah. Oh, go ahead.
Let's do it. Let's do some climbing, shall we?
Yeah. So Mr. Anuma and Bill kind of.
Hopefully they disabled the timer this time.
Bottom of the temple. So now I'm gonna go up and see how the world will look like.
I've never.
It should be noted
no
that the first
Vandalia,
time I found this
but
temple, I
not
tried to climb up
by
the other side,
design,
there's no ladder.
or because I never had the
Yeah.
money
And I
for
died.
it.
Yeah,
To be fair,
I
like-
didn't know there's another neither.
You did that and you felt so proud of yourself.
Wow.
Yeah, I did.
And it was only later you walked around and was like, oh, ladder.
Yeah, well, the game encourages you to climb. What can I say? I figured I was doing the right thing.
Have to be careful.
Steady.
No.
We already had Bill set himself on fire.
That
it's
is
all right.
true.
Even
Yeah,
if you plunge
yeah,
to your
yeah,
death,
yeah.
I don't think it's.
Does that mean we
think
have
it's a
to
bad
ramp
thing.
it up now? We're just going to, we have to be
Here's
here,
a
I think,
TV
on
that
the
looks like an
glorious
apple.
death
Okay.
Sorry.
Then I'm just gonna go up.
Challenge
Think
accepted.
ooh, this is my favorite moment. When I go up to the peak, I can actually see the sun coming up.
Yeah,
That's
it's kind of
so
scary actually how many
amazing.
times I've done that playing early builds of this game where you just sort of you want to get to high spaces so you can
What
just
is
look
that in
around
the distance?
different times of day, different weather. You know, just
Oh,
the scenery is so.
So you notice
fantastic.
there's this kind of
That's
glowing red
amazing.
thing,
Yeah,
and you
especially
see
here
it
since
periodically.
We don't have any
I've seen
control
3 of
as
them
we're
so
showing
far.
this game off to what the weather's going to do.
There's a
so
fourth one actually right down
it's
there.
nice right now.
I wonder what
We've
those
got
are.
a good scene to show people, but it could just easily be raining.
Like right there. You
So
see
since
in
this
the
is
mountains,
an
there's some red thing, and there's one there.
segment, I kinda
And if the
wanna,
camera would
try
keep
to
going,
explore a lot. And then
there's
I'm gonna
like
try
4
to
of them
head
I've
for
seen.
The highest peak in this plateau, which I think is that thing.
Yes.
So I'm going to use the scope. You see, so
Ah!
using the scope, you can actually pin things, so you can see where you're heading.
Okay,
So right
that's
now I'm
actually
right
kind of
here.
cool. By the way, you notice right there,
And
it's
I
labeled
can-
right there,
I'm trying to go
Temple
to
of
the
Time.
Mount Hylia, the highest peak
Eastern
on
Abbey,
this
Hylia
plateau
River,
we're
Mount
on.
Hylia.
And it's crazy thinking this
Hopper
is just the plateau
Pond,
that we have
Forest
to
of
look with,
Spirits.
but this is a tiny portion of the world.
Yeah.
Yep,
that
this
you
is
can explore
how
in this game.
big the world is.
Having that the topographical.
Yeah, they look
details
like
on the
torch
map,
beacons,
too, are
I
hugely
agree.
important.
Just
It's like
whatever
when
I'm
you-
looking
when you
at,
look it, when you're
I
sitting
wanna know
there
where
staring at
that
a map
is.
and trying to figure out how to get somewhere, you can see obviously if you have huge elevation gains that you have to get over, planning your route becomes really important.
Yep.
God, I'm hungry.
And just for the Treehouse Live, Mr. Anuma gave us a very special bonus. So we can actually use the paraglider in this one.
So there's one of the
I'm
tools
gonna
we'll be
try to
getting in the
take
future.
The scenic route.
You're going in the drink. You're going in the water.
Oh, no.
Yeah, I think she is.
Maybe.
Maybe.
Yes.
Oh, she made it. Okay, okay. Is this... Make this a demo. Make this a demo. Hang on. I'm going to plug in my controller right now. Make this playable outside of
One thing I
E3.
found really useful
You've done
about
this
being
before,
able to
Nintendo.
find
Come
your
on.
location before you actually get going, because
Come on, give me
the number
something,
of times
Nintendo.
I've gotten way late by collecting stuff or hunting, or I'm just totally off of where I intended to go, and then I can check and be like, oh yeah, I was supposed to go over there. I should get back to that when I'm done collecting stuff.
No, that happens all the time. Like every nook and cranny. I mean, it's not. it's
We've
not
been
like you're gonna
debating that,
find, you know,
Vandalia.
This incredible.
My
sword
current
around
theory
every
is
nook and cranny, but
after
there's
Zelda
always
2
something.
or
It's like,
after
whether it's an
Spirit
apple or
Tracks.
something that you're going to use later
Or
on.
after Twilight
There's
Princess.
there's stuff.
But
there's secrets
I'm most
everywhere, so
inclined
get really
towards after
distracted.
Spirit Tracks. Is my
And I collect
is my
everything
new
I
big
see.
guess.
I feel like I just saw Bill doing a naked speed run down this path. Like, luckily we're going a different route.
Come
You
on,
went
drop
down
a
the path,
demo.
we're
Drop a
going up.
demo.
Yep, we're going to the different direction.
Restore my faith. Do it.
So this is actually the peak or the.
They're not going to
where
announce it right now if they do.
Link first come out from the.
But just in case they
resurrection peak, I
had, they
think.
already flipped the switch.
That's where it
There we
was, I
go.
think. And he came up right here.
Hey, in case anybody's wondering too, because we obviously just went through Mr. Aonuma's section. The first time you pick something up, it stops and tells you what it is, but thereafter, if you pick up the same item, you're not going to get interrupted with sort of that little text bubble telling you what it is. You just pick it up and just keep
Nothing
rolling.
yet.
Okay.
Nothing yet.
So my destination is actually behind me, but I'm going to try to go around this cave and do some climbing and jumping.
find
love
it so
Zelda.
Yeah, this
it's
is,
interesting how with this game,
as
like,
I've
so much
said,
of it is being able to
it
take
is
your adventure
preferable
in
to
your
have a
hands,
pre-recorded thing
do
for
whatever you wanna
presentation
do, go where you
values,
wanna go.
but the
And
real person
starting
me,
a
the
game, one of the
gamer
first things
me,
you can do
has to admit,
is
I like
run
the
your
genuine
shoulder.
nature of Nintendo's presentation
Yeah, I
better
totally
than
get that.
even Sony,
Yeah,
and
I
Sony
kinda
just
made
knocked it out of the
I've
park.
made many entertaining mistakes as I've been exploring, and I've
But-
been a little maybe over-enthusiastic.
This is actual people actually playing the game right here and screwing up, and I like that. I like the human nature of it.
They wanted to.
Yep.
I like the simple humanity of it.
Decided what to do. Oh, wait.
You need to
Oh,
buy
I
this
got
game,
it.
Samurai.
Oh, really?
That's all I'm saying.
Chico, it
That
should be
one's
noted
gone.
for those of you guys who are watching.
Note you do have limited
Chico
ammo
likes
for
to
anybody who's
shoot
curious about that
everything
one.
that moves, but you don't have to do that. Of course, obviously,
It
if
is.
you there are.
Sony showed pre-recorded
you can
gameplay, which
survive
is
and play
great.
this entire game without
And in fact, it was like
hunting
nothing but
innocent
gameplay.
animals.
Even the choose your own
Well, no,
adventure
and
game had
that
gameplay.
animal-
This is people playing a game. There's a difference.
And actually, this is something that folks probably noticed during the Aonuma segment. That
The professional in me
this
prefers the
area's
former.
really
The
taken
person
over
in
by
me
the
prefers the
cobblers, so You
latter.
have to be really careful as you're running around these hills.
Like
there
that
are all these little encampments
is
that you
that?
can run across. And depending on which direction you come
Is
at them
that
from, you
a
could be
mana
running
bomb?
the other way, crest that hill, and suddenly you're smack in the middle of this camp.
Yeah. These
They
guys have a
are-
really sweet camp. Look at the view from that camp.
Yeah, I don't know what that is above the
And they
noise
have
meter.
meat. I want meat.
Nice roll.
So much for their peaceful
Oh.
camping.
Ah, you missed it.
You got their attention though.
Wait.
That's all right. They're stupid.
Yeah. They're not.
They might just
They're like, that was just an
blue
exploding
shiny
grasshopper.
Now you'll
Yeah.
notice there's
Just went
no
over there and blew
ammo
up.
on the bomb, just a timer on it.
I think there's a
I think you got- yeah, you got a
bear
good-
taking it.
Oh man, Chico's
Just
taking it in her own hands.
Okay. I wanted to get them before they get the weapon, but
Oh, you went over the side. Chico, come on.
what? I'm just trying to.
These
get
dudes are
their
chilling. They're like,
meat.
we got our permit, we got our giant hunk of meat. We're gonna have a little camp.
They were
Oh,
looking forward to such a good time.
no, they're bad.
What
They're
is
bad.
that? You notice there's red stuff swirling around whatever that is in the
Here, grab
distance.
that.
What do you want to bet that's Hyrule Castle?
Oh,
And if that's Hyrule Castle and
gonna
this is
give
the
me a
Temple
form.
of Time, that would actually make this
I
probably
would
more
do it
like the
for them.
Twilight Princess timeline.
Finders keepers. They're no longer here.
I
so
would
it's
probably
all
not
useless.
like that personally,
Yeah,
Vandalia, but that's just because I hate that
That's good.
that particular
Sure.
motion control thing. Oh my god, you actually can do that.
Fire on that.
Oh, there might be something in there.
Maybe I should wait.
Yeah, it's so interesting when we saw the
Yeah, the combat
rolling
reminds me a
issue
lot
we
of
were
Wind
having
Waker
over
so
that crest
far.
There, but
Everything I've
you
seen
have
about
to
it.
take physics into account
Oh, yeah.
whenever you're doing anything in this
Look,
game.
look at that. There's something more.
Oh yeah, go down there.
Well, it's going to have a really real effect on
I'm loving this glider. I can't even begin to explain how awesome that is.
Stuff everywhere.
Is this mining?
So this is ore.
It is! It's
course,
mining.
whaling
Crafting
as you go, so
100%
blow it out,
confirmed.
Various
Oh, that's
minerals
right.
and other
Yeah,
things.
Yeah. I should do that.
You gotta
That's
save that
easier.
axe. It's like you might need that. Maybe a square bomb.
Wait.
You notice there was a magnet bomb and a remote
So
bomb?
there are two different types of remote bomb in this one.
Two types of
And
remote
the
bombs,
square one
excuse
is
me.
much easier to just keep it in place. Oops, I won't do it.
And the spheres, unfortunately, were all that
Whoa.
shadows.
Oh, aha.
A big old cloud just went overhead.
Actually, can we look up for a second? I just want to see if that cloud's...
Yeah, hold on.
It might have been a zeppelin. I'm just kidding. There's no zeppelins in this game. Just weather, I think.
It's past. It's good. I was a little worried a storm was rolling in and everything was going to start getting all slippery. And
There's another
difficult to
camp
navigate.
over there. So one of the different thing about this game is that many of the bokoblins actually live in the camp instead of just scattering
Yeah.
around.
Yeah, that's true. You'll run into some monsters that are just sort of wandering the
Oh, yeah.
environment, but they actually have their own little communities. They'll gather in camps.
And yeah, we can climb up.
Just having
I'm
fun
liking what they're doing with the
until it
climbing.
comes over.
The fact that I
Everything
can
right
climb
there is
effectively a
awesome.
sheer surface
Chico's showing
means
right
you
here,
can
right
go
now, is
basically
that
anywhere you
have all
can
this environment to
see.
explore and at your own pace.
Think about
and
that.
You can just climb everything and just try to investigate
That's true,
different
Zoan, that's
ways
true.
and take different paths.
I shouldn't say it's
not
100%
linear or
confirmed.
anything. You
Yep.
just
It is
choose your
possible
own
this is a
adventure.
trading
There's so
mechanism.
much
That's
hidden
currency.
goodness to find.
Right?
So if
to
that cliff had been
explore.
higher, like her stamina wheel basically, it allowed her to get that high. But like if that had been a higher cliff, you probably would
Hey,
have.
Cold Black.
Yeah, so I have-
Welcome
kinda
to
have
my
know, like, what's
stream. Welcome
limit.
to
That's why I started
Zelda.
climbing up.
Shoutouts, dude. You want to talk? You want to chat? There's that red thing again. What is that? Don't be a stranger. If you want to say anything, I like chatting with my chat. If I'm missing stuff, it's because I'm gushing over Zelda.
It sort of looks like you would expect, sort of as you go up into like sort of mountain meadows and stuff like that. You'd expect the trees to change. You know, you'd expect some more like sort of wild meadows, and then as you
Being
get into
honest,
an
I
area
would
with
not
snow,
buy
it's like the
any
transitions
console
feel
for
really
one
natural.
game. Not anymore. When I was younger, I might
Looking in
make that
other direction,
decision,
there's
but
a
not
very
now.
ominous direction on the
Yeah,
horizon.
let's not go there today.
Yeah.
Stay
Let's try to
here
stay
where
on the
it's-
plateau.
There's no
Safer.
bokoblins. challenge. Oh, wait, I couldn't take that.
I don't know if we're going to be able to stop Chico from just sort of going and attacking
just
everything
like
she
to
sees.
collect things.
That's all right. No, it's good.
Hey, I don't regret my
Especially
Wii U at
because
all.
It illustrates that you
Absolutely
really can approach this
wonderful, and
1,000
once again,
different
thanks
ways.
to
I mean, the last
Spirit
one
for
you
having
sort of
donated
sent in
to me
some bombs
2 years
to,
ago
to
now.
introduce
I'm
yourself
still
to him,
grateful to
but-
him for that awesome thing.
Oh, he's
I have
eccentric.
not even for a millisecond
He doesn't
regretted it.
And actually,
No, he
the
definitely doesn't see
Notice
me
the
now.
stealth thing, by the
AI
way.
is really
There's stealth in
interesting,
action.
depending on what you're
We all
fighting,
theorized about it.
Did they notice me?
These
Yeah.
guys behave a certain way. Different enemies will behave more aggressively or more cautiously. But I think we noticed in
And
an
he had
earlier
the
section
fire.
there with that first camp where they actually hadn't picked up their
set me on
weapons yet. So if
fire.
you'd been able to get involved
Really?
before they grab their weapons, it might have been easier, but then they have a chance to grab their gear.
Totally.
Hang on,
grab
Deutsch. I'd have to
each
think
other's
about that.
gear.
Yeah, if you sneak in and grab their weapons, they basically
Remote.
try to-
Oh my god, I'm loving the new bomb mechanic.
Like, come on.
Okay, what do I have on the Wii U?
Or you can
I've got
so,
Star Fox,
Chico just used an axe
Zero,
that
of
you can actually
course,
use to knock
Mario
shields out of
Maker,
enemy hands that have your weapons can knock out
Pikmin
shields.
3,
Then picked up
New
his
Super
weapons,
Mario
and
Brothers
now it's like, what
U.
does this
I
dude
have
do?
Mario
He's
3D
just
World, which I
knocking
highly
enemies.
recommend.
Yeah, check 'em out.
Wind Waker
Yeah, do
U.
I think that was their.
I'm trying to
that might have
remember.
been- that might
What
have
else
been
I've got?
their-
I've got quite a few. My games aren't actually here. They're actually over in storage over there, so I don't remember right now off the top of my
Better
head.
than something more unpleasant.
There are more. I guess I have Twilight
And it's
Princess
actually
as well, but that
interesting,
doesn't
too,
count.
that right now we're fighting during a fairly nice, sunny, clear day, but how this would go and also how the bokoblins would behave might be very different if we came back here at night or if we came here during different weather.
Okay.
That's right. A lot of enemies sleep at night. You can
Unlock the
steal their
chest
stuff.
by killing
You can
everything. That's
sleep-
very
sneak out
Zelda.
Afterwards too, if you want, but in
The
general,
difference
I'm
is
sure
this
Chico would
isn't
do
in a
that. She would
contained
leave
room.
note sleeping enemies alive. And so what happened right there, obviously, is Chico.
That
cleared the
could be
entire
Chaos
area.
Rider.
This particular camp had.
And
a
the only other
chest
thing they've
that
shown
was
off is
locked,
Pokemon
and was
Moon
tied to the enemies around
and
it. So
Sun.
when you
That's
defeat them,
wonderful, too.
nice. That's an upgrade.
But essentially, you can interact. with
So,
everything
what I want to
in this
explain
environment.
about
Like,
what
there's
just
two
happened is
boxes
what
on
you're
the screen.
seeing
Yeah.
is
Just Chico can't
morphic
really interact
game
with
design
them, but
philosophy.
later on
We've
in
already
the
had the
later
idea that you
segments,
kill
we'll talk
all the
about, like,
enemies
how you
in a
can
room
open
to
it.
unlock something, right? That's classic Zelda.
that's
Having that just be
very
in a
cool.
area
looks
without
like
without actual defined walls, without a zone,
Not
if you
going
will, a
there
zone of
today.
control
We're
to be
staying on the
defined by that,
plateau.
is something that is
But
not
there's just
brand
this
new,
rock
but still a new
stone
iteration of an existing
pillar,
idea.
so of course I'm gonna try
And
to
that's
climb
cool,
up on that
and I
thing.
like that.
And there's another treehouse.
Oh
These
wow.
guys have really built it up. They got a
Oh,
nice
yeah.
place.
Wow.
Yeah, no, that actually is really nice. They got the deluxe camp.
Yeah, it's a better one.
Yeah, look at
I'm
that.
not
They
sure if
got like
Chico's
they got.
gonna let that one stand or not.
You gonna burn that entire camp down, Chico?
I don't know. Maybe.
Come in like an avenging
Maybe.
fury.
I need to take them out first.
You see that thing on the right? That's one of those things I've been pointing out. It's like, if you look at it very carefully, it's moving. It looks like some kind of pedestal that's dripping lava or something like that.
All of us being able to play it.
No, I didn't. Oh, actually, I probably already answered it, Simone, especially if you
really
left.
comparing notes about how different the experience can be. Where
See you around,
certain people
J-Warp.
really
Oh yeah,
focus
Bayonetta
on
2, that's another one.
just rampant destruction
Mhm.
and waging a one-man war against the goblins.
One NPC so far.
Hunting or exploring, and
An old man who
depending
mentioned-
on how you choose to focus your adventure.
What?
It's so different.
Yep.
And just talking to people, like I can talk to any other person in the office, and we've had a completely different experience with the game.
Yeah, totally. So Chico, with just what we were talking about, that Chico basically scouted this camp with her Sheikah slate.
Yeah, I already
You can
answered
see
it,
that
so
actually by
you
identifying
might
the
be right.
individual enemies, you
Oh.
can see how strong they are. And yeah, it looks like
It's
there's a
kinda-
serious one back there.
Yeah.
Notice it actually
You may
says
not have geared up
current
yet.
health,
Not
max
right now.
health.
Give it a pass.
So
Probably
yeah, I
move
should.
along.
Let's go. Let's go to the peak.
Yeah, she opened the chest from
You can
behind,
also
by
see
the
that
way.
she's got-
When was the
when
last
she
time we
marked
could do that?
spot on her map, you can see it down on the mini map. So even if it's not specifically in the little radius,
It's an
of your
iterative
immediate
process,
map,
Rory. That's what
you'll
I mean.
always have a beacon,
In other words, the
to
games
go.
morph from game to game without actually becoming a brand new game. The Elder Scrolls concept, the Call of Duty concept, the Pokemon concept, the FIFA concept, the Dynasty Warrior concept. He's cold.
Chico is very cold right now.
It's always so sad to see.
Cold resistance is a thing.
Yeah, but before I go, I definitely.
And you apparently take damage in a cold area after time if you don't
We're gonna use the-
resist.
Let's
Skull.
Skull.
Go skull.
Okay.
There you go.
Okay, so
To
now
be killed later.
That's death. You don't want to go there.
do I have it better? Yeah.
So what
Ah,
Chico
my
just did,
cynicism
obviously,
has
was,
died, Macon. I'm
yeah,
at
she went to
full
a colder
gush
zone. You
mode.
can see from the-
Warning to all my viewers, I'm in
temperature
full
gauge
gush
there,
mode.
she went somewhere
I want
that's
this game
beyond sort
now.
of her current clothing, and you're going to lose health if you don't gear up or otherwise warm yourself. Clothing's there's only one way that you can do it, but for the purpose of this demo, just put on a nice little tunic.
There has been some dialogue, yes.
Traveling?
That would be cool
Why
as
don't you
one.
take a dip in that
And it
lake?
should be.
You ever
We've
do
already
that?
seen
Polar
in the
bear?
trailer that there is
Come on.
a desert
Friendly
area
pig,
too.
yes.
No polar bear club.
No. When you play, you can do it.
Frozen shoes.
Those look like shoes. What is that stuff?
Oh, you're right.
Choo-choo jelly. Sweet. Lots of stuff in this game. I don't even know what that stuff does, and I've been playing this game forever. Have you ever made anything out of jelly? You gotta be able to make something out of it.
I don't know, cooking.
So we kind of touched on it, but maybe we could talk about how with this game, like the weather changes and it actually affects like the gameplay itself.
Oh yeah, totally. Well, I mean, among other things, it makes it so that nobody's going to have the same experience in this.
Yeah, you notice
area.
they have a
If you
quest
come into an
still
area
to
when
go to
it's
this one
at
at the
night and
Sheikah
rain,
Village,
it-
and
it's
they
a
have
totally
no one
different
has thus far has
experience
gone to the
than when you
Sheikah
come in
the
broad
area.
daylight. The
Everyone's been
terrain
avoiding it like the
differently,
plague.
terrain behaves
I
differently.
think they're doing that deliberately.
Sundown
I think they
for
don't
people
want to
have
show off
campfires and
story
stuff like
at
that.
the
So
moment.
it really is dynamic.
That's the impression
and
I'm getting.
That's in the truest sense of the word. It's dynamic in the sense that you just the time of day.
I think Corrales is right. So we've got the noise indicator right here we all picked up. I think the thing above that is the temperature indicator. Or maybe like a weather indicator or something like that.
Climbing, because if it's slippery, it's just a lot harder to climb, so you're not going to be able to hit things. And every once in a while, you're going to hit a point where maybe you just have to wait for the weather to pass.
Yep, totally.
Or
Which I never do. I'm going somewhere else.
Let's
There's
be
always
honest,
something
there's
else to do.
probably
I'm not gonna
crafting.
wait- I'm not going to wait for this
We
weather
just
to
don't know
pass.
100%
It just
yet.
adds to the puzzle and the strategy of like where should I go next? So maybe I should come here later.
I agree
and
with
just
you,
mark
Cold
it
Black.
and just
I had
go
that same feeling in
explore.
LTTP and in Wind
I'm
Waker,
impressed
actually.
that you're going around paths. See me, I'm like straight line. I climb over absolutely everything in my path unless I don't have the stamina to do it.
I don't think Chico's following a straight path though.
She was sticking a little bit to it.
Just want to get to it, you know?
You notice the
I find
ambient
moments when
sounds
you're cresting,
changed when we went to the
sunset.
frozen area, by the way.
I have to get
really
there.
kind of
As they should. Also, we're about to finally see the time
Pause and
change.
appreciate
So
the-
notice the
the
time
sunset.
is a much
You're gonna
slower
avoid
changeover than, say, Majora's Mask or Ocarina of Time or
so
Wind Waker,
pretty.
as it should be.
Everything.
Can I make it? Can I make it?
Yeah, you'll make it. Sunset's nice. Oh yeah.
Ah, let's do that
Nice.
a little bit too
Oh,
much.
that's all right. It's still nice.
Aw, that's cool.
And there's that spike
It's
thing I
really
pointed
fun
out
to have a
earlier.
movie
One of
theater
them.
Sit back.
One of the
crack
four.
an elixir, you know.
And yeah, the minimap actually
Really?
has a clock right there.
Oh, sunset.
That's nice.
Oh.
So are we at the peak? Oh yeah, we are.
Oh,
Nice
it's
little
getting dark.
men here
Maybe
there.
we're gonna
Wait, no, it says
fight.
search. You got to grab something. There's something
I
there.
will do it later.
Oh, all right.
Okay.
God, you need resources.
You can
Just
really
see
see
what's
those
around.
spike
Oh, man.
things.
Yeah, this is
I
the
keep
highest
pointing out
peak
at dark.
on the plateau.
There's
Of
one,
course,
and there's
more
two actually.
Higher stuff
On the right
outside
there.
plateau.
There's one down
Yeah.
there.
You guys have to
There's
explore
another
it
one down
later,
there.
I
That's
guess.
crazy to think about.
There's
Actually,
two over there in
This
the distance
seems
I
like
didn't
it
see
should be
before.
The highest point in the entire land, and it's definitely not.
And
It's
there's
just
that one right
everything's so
there.
vast, but
Yeah.
the higher you get, the farther you can see, and it just makes planning so much
Also,
easier.
loving the render
This is
radius.
how we've got some
Absolutely
illumination marking
loving the
locations.
render radius.
So there's some certain
I hate
sites
games
that are
that
really
have
gonna
that
catch your eyes
claustrophobic
and
feel of
look
fog.
know.
I hate that even
I'm so
in
distracted
WoW,
by
a
all
game
this
I
stuff now. I
love.
want to mark all those shrines. Go to those.
to-do
I'm-
list.
Hey, Destroy Tokyo.
So,
Welcome
are
to
you
my
for
stream. Well, I got a lot of new viewers today. What's up, dude? Shoutouts. As I say to everyone who shows up, don't be a stranger. I like chatting with my viewers. So you got any questions, you got any thoughts, please feel free to share.
On the floor, so folks who are here aren't going to get to play with this. It's only folks who are watching the stream that get to
It becomes
hopefully watch us not fly into the water.
Stalfos is hid. Oh, nice shot.
Yeah, got his weapon too. Haha.
Oh, grab it. Oh,
Ooh,
oh, that's all right. You can use that for something.
Yeah.
make a necklace.
I don't know.
I don't think we could do that. Can we do that? It's gross. Necklace of
Wait.
teeth.
Is it
What's
higher?
my viewer count out right now?
Yeah, yeah,
I
totally.
want to do snowboarding.
That's
I'd love
right.
to be good here.
I know, that's right, that's
Oh,
right.
wow.
I've only seen
Look
that
at
come
the moon
across
over there.
once
Just
ever,
come out.
Domini, and that's in
Yeah.
Silent Hill 2. In general, if I see excessive fog, it literally clicks in my claustrophobia, like Morrowind, for example.
Oh no.
And yes, this is going to be coming out on Wii U. By the way, you notice we've got
You were a dead shot. You go.
Stalfos,
Seriously.
See,
or
I just-
Stall
I
Children,
normally
or
just
whatever
wait
those
in there
are,
with a sword,
after
but you're actually
dark.
smart to do that because if you fight Stalfos at night with a sword, you generally knock their heads off, but then the head survives.
It's
and
pretty
goes
good
and
so
tries to
far,
find
Mighty
its
Mage.
body
I'm
and put it
I'm
back
sold
together.
on the
love
game.
their heads too.
Yeah, that's right.
Yeah, I'll debate it, so.
And actually, if you take a look
But it
afterwards,
looks
sometimes their
like,
limbs will still
unless
be
there's
moving
some other
after
thing
you
we
keep
don't know
going.
about, I don't think it's.
Oh, that's right. So
That is so cool. It's my favorite feature of them all.
Yeah, I can actually do snowboarding here.
Climb a high hill. Oh, nice.
No. Oh,
I see.
Ice skis.
We all still hate the
Take that
keys.
jump, actually. If we start high enough, we just...
I'm sorry, what?
I was probably
I'm sorry, I was
leading you
murdering
to
this
do.
bat.
You probably
It's
don't want
keys.
to listen.
Jeez, it's not bad.
I know.
It's
It's
a
keys.
monster. Okay.
I know, right, Lurker? And yeah, that's the quote. Thank you.
Okay, so there's this.
So that little move that Chico just did, riding on her shield surfing, I think we're calling it.
Yep.
That does degrade your shield, so it's not like you could do that forever. Well, I mean, you can. You just have to go get more shields, but you can't ride on that thing forever. And
But
expect
that
it
adds
not
to
stick.
flavor, Rory.
Yeah.
Or at least
You
it
might
could
need
if
to
it's
get it.
well presented. We don't know yet
Yeah,
if it is.
exactly. With all your
It's the
weapons and your
tricky
gear, they have also their own stats. So the more you use them, the more you wear them.
Maybe you want to save your
found
favorites
another
for special
Get that.
occasions.
Yeah. The cool thing that I actually found out is that if you're shield surfing, you can do other things at the same time, like shoot an arrow. So,
Oh, yeah.
that just invites more
Zelda
exploration
Twilight
and people to
Princess,
just keep trying
those are the
stuff,
only
so
two,
it's super
Taito.
cool.
Twilight Princess had made a huge,
So I know during the video we showed right at the
huge
beginning of
mistake
the day,
in the fact that every
we showed
time
Link swimming,
you
but I
started the
can't
game
remember
over,
if
it basically reset the
Hang on
timer.
a second.
Maybe
Chico
one
wants to
up?
blow a tree up.
Set more things on fire.
Oops, I was too hard.
I think you can leave the tree be. Come on. You are such a force of destruction.
I think we just found out that.
Apparently you can burn trees.
Might be. So,
Anyways, so what was I talking about? Oh yeah, in Twilight Princess, every time you start up a game, it resets the you got a thing for the first time timer. So each time you got a purple rupee, or each time you got a yellow rupee, it would play it again as if you never gotten one before, regardless if you've gotten one in previous playthroughs. If they have fixed that issue, then we're cool, because I don't mind the pop-up showing up the first time I get something. I mind it showing up every time I get something.
Yeah,
And if you notice, we've seen that at least partially so far. Because every time they get something the second time, it's just a little, very quick indicator, not a big, pop-up thing.
There we go.
So the only question is if it resets.
Nice detour.
Soldier's broadsword.
This is actually a really
Once
good
used,
throw. So, I mean, we were talking about that
you
earlier.
can't carry any more weapons.
There's little stuff everywhere. So, I mean, you might look behind it in a little nook and cranny that looks suspicious, and sometimes
Inventory
you might find an
space
awesome trove like this
confirmed.
that has tons of treasure chests, but sometimes you might find some apples or some acorns or something like that.
I
But all of those
sincerely
things have
doubt it
value.
absurdity.
You never-
It'll probably
never a
reset
time
the
when
moment the
you're
zone
looking
reloads.
around and see something suspicious and you're like, oh, why did I come into this corner? There's just stuff everywhere, and it's all useful. I don't think we're talking about all about it in this segment, but we'll probably go into some of the details of how you use ingredients and stuff later on.
It's funny, honestly, sometimes in the middle of a hard battle, an apple is the most valuable treasure
I
you've
know,
got. You're
I
like,
know.
one second, I have to eat this. Give me a second.
More fire arrows. That's the last thing we need to give Chico.
Oh God, you're right.
You may be
So,
geared up to.
Speaking of, fire arrow, maybe I can go back to the treehouse and burn it.
Oh no.
I don't know. What do you think?
Wait, are you talking about the real treehouse?
Yeah, not our actual treehouse.
Okay.
We got time.
The goblins might be in for a bad day.
I'm wasting it.
Yeah, those are the.
I'm not wasting
those are
it
little
anymore.
guys.
That did look really cool, though.
That's probably
Well,
the right
from what they
weapon to use
say,
if you
there
really
are
want to
dungeons.
damage
They're
an enemy
just.
that's made out of ice. I would imagine fire
It's part of that
arrows
iterative thing I
are probably
mentioned
the thing to
earlier.
do.
Rather
Use
than
them all here.
rooms,
Can't go burn stuff
like a
later.
standard Zelda
Right.
dungeon,
That's how
it'll
Chico
just be
has to
this
manage
area
resources.
is a dungeon.
Do you really want to burn this thing?
Jeez.
Now, I think the biggest
that's,
mistake here, and I've already
Wait,
heard
double
several
check the memory,
viewers
actually.
kind
Oh,
of
yeah, no,
mention
I
this
was trying to remember
mistake,
where you stuck that skull. Oh, yeah,
is the
that's
idea
okay.
that people might actually hold off
So,
on buying
yeah,
the
we
Wii
did-
U
I
version
think
to
we were
get the
starting to say
NX
this earlier,
version,
saying
depending on
you
what the
can-
NX is.
We saw Link jumping in the water earlier. That was much more temperate water.
It's
This is
it's just a making fun of thing, Brady, and don't mind it. Here, let me go ahead and get rid of that. Let's go ahead and get rid of those.
That apple.
There you go.
Or the steak.
Here, we'll even go to our other
God. That was
setup.
It's
There you
only
go.
death and destruction
Why
when
don't
it
you-
comes to Chico.
Oh wow, you got a Korok leaf out of it. That's good. That shows.
It is also, of course, possible. See, what they said is they want you to be able to approach a dungeon from multiple areas. In other words, rather than here's the dungeon entrance, it's more like here's the dungeon, and you can approach it from here, you can approach it from here, or whatever.
Your little explosive demonstration. About
How that
should
works,
call
I
out
mean,
that,
shrug.
obviously that
how that
tree
actually
fell
works
down
in
because it was in a
function, we don't know.
destruction zone. You see trees, I mean, you can damage them. I think.
I will, however,
trailer
say
and
that
there's
Pax
sort of
pointed out
sequence of
something that is
knocking a
actually
tree
really
across
worthy
the
of
chasm.
note.
It's not like that's
So
all
maybe
you
this is of
chop
course
down.
my
It's like,
opinion
here's
coming
the
into
chop
this,
down, anything you see.
but when I take the Wii version of Twilight Princess versus the GameCube version of Twilight Princess, for me the GameCube version
Actually,
is
let's see if
much
we can
better.
Take a closer look at one of
And
the arms
so
once they're.
it's entirely
Yeah, this one in
possible
front
we'll
of
have a
the
similar
region.
situation here, for good and for bad. Also, music.
Chico, what I want you to do is take his arm and then beat him with it.
It's right. Oh, there, grab that one. Oh wait,
He took it.
no.
Oh, grab it. Yes.
Nice.
This is so
No, I
gross.
can't. So I have to.
You have
I
too many
already have
things.
enough
Maybe Digiclub.
weapons. So yeah.
The arm is way more.
picked up the same
wait.
Oh no, he's got it back. I think he's putting it back on.
Sorry.
He's
were
trying
getting
desperately
outwitted
to
by
rip
two
out
people.
one of their
Why?
arms and beat them to death with
Are
it.
you saying I'm?
There it is.
Don't have.
Well, I have a rudimentary intelligence.
Wait.
Nice.
There you go.
got it.
Did I take it?
Yeah,
yeah,
you
yeah,
did.
you got it.
Now equip
So we
it.
gotta equip that for a second, I think, just to show it off because it's so creepy.
It's really creepy.
So yes, we are now wielding.
Teach him a
It's
lesson.
the hand's still moving.
There you go.
The hand's still moving,
His own arm.
That guy too.
and it apparently has no
It
durability.
really is
What a
fun
shock!
experimenting with things
Look
that
at
you
that,
maybe
it's
don't
still
think
moving
of as
on the
weapons,
ground,
but
too.
they
Yep.
do the
Oh,
job.
tell me about it. This
Yeah,
game
I
looks
mean,
like
we already showed it, obviously,
speedrunner
in this
gold.
segment, but going out of that cave and
Routing is one
instead
of the
being
best
handed a
features of
sword by an
speedrunning, in
old
my
man,
opinion. I
getting
know
a
I'm not the only person who
crappy
thinks that.
branch to sit right there.
This looks like a great game for routing.
Look.
That arm is pretty creepy when it's sheathed too,
They're
because
trying
it's
to
still
get
like
together.
I
clawing
know.
at the back of Link, and it's like grabbing
That
at
was
him.
good. It's intimidating. If I saw that dude, I wouldn't fight him. He's got like a moving severed arm on his back.
So we've got a little bit of time left. Should we see if we can check out that tree fort before we wrap up?
Yeah.
Chico's gonna mount an assault. I'm psyched to see this. And then she's gonna ride the waterfall.
No.
No, I'm just kidding.
Nah.
We actually tried that once. It's
Yeah.
dramatic.
There's no way they have the range over here. You can just bomb them.
I like the word epic. I thought it was an epic ending.
Okay, wait. Oh, I have to go. Oh, it's almost breaking.
That's right. You got a spare bow. That bow is better, anyways. They got better tech than you.
So let's see what happens if we burn a
Oh,
tree
they have
fort.
no
shall we?
idea. Nice shot.
You notice it has an actual arc, by the way. Shades of Oblivion there.
Oh, no.
A little low. To compensate for the wind shear.
Ha.
Oh. Oh, he shot back.
Huh? He's mad at me. I bet. Yes.
I like the effect
All
on
right.
it too.
Well, that's I think about all the time that we've got here today. But we'll leave the fate of those bokoblins up to folks' imagination. We'll let them be for now. But thanks, guys, for swinging by and doing some exploring with us. Folks who are watching, please stay tuned. We're going to be right back with some more Legend of Zelda.
With
Breath
more
of the Wild.
Zelda
I can't
stuff,
even- I can't even
'cause
say
that's
we're gonna do
what they're
next, but
doing.
Please stay tuned. We'll be right back. Thanks.
It's just a joke, Viridian.
Hey.
I'm not going to go through the whole speech again, but basically, no. But basically, a lot of people who present at things who don't know how to present do this thing with their hands, and it's this robotic artificial motion, and it's very amusing to me to point it out every time I see it. Especially at EA's presentation. They got this robot in human skin up there on the stage who was like it was one of the most robotic versions of the hands thing I've ever seen. It was incredible. Hey, Kamek. Once again, the wait times. So, Pax made a comment I want to share with you guys, which actually kind of makes me laugh, because let's go ahead and let the cynicism seep in just for a second, okay? I know I said I'm gushing over this, and I am, and I'm already sold. Like, I am already sold on this. Just done. Here. Money. But, let's let that cynicism seep in for just a second, and say, why is this game not out already? Pax's comment was, and I'm just going to quote a quote word for word here. The only thing this demo is showing me is that they could have released this already. Partial quote. I took out some cussing. it is entirely possible, in fact, I would say it's even likely, that the reason this game has not come out yet is because they want to do a simultaneous release with the NX and the Wii U, and the NX is not out yet. The NX is not ready yet. They haven't even told us what the NX is yet. We still don't know what it is. I've given my theory, of course. So, you know, it is entirely possible they are basically done with this game and just kind of working on the NX and getting it there. So, regardless, supposedly this game is going to be coming out. Supposedly we should have, or already have, I'm not sure, I haven't checked, a release date for this. Let me check some real quick. Come on. Come on. There you go. God, this music's terrible. Here we go. Oh yeah, Hyrule Warriors. That's another Wii U game that I enjoy. Because people were asking earlier about Wii U games. Okay, still no release date. That's what I thought. I'm probably going to pick up the new Paper Mario game even after Sticker Star because, and I know I'm one of the only people who thinks this, but I actually felt that that this right here, Mario and Luigi Paper Jam, was actually a good game. So my faith has been restored a little bit in the Mario RPGs in general. We'll see. We'll see. It could be another Sticker Star. I hope not. Yeah. Hylisk, they're just showing off Zelda. If you're waiting for other things, they're not. I'll repeat my theory about the NX. I don't think it's a console on its own right. I think it is a in-between console. Something that has functionality the 3DS and the Wii U doesn't have, that can play 3DS games and Wii U games on it. I think it is a new thing. And I think it will be something that enables you to, for example, streaming is something that's been referenced several times. It is a very heavy rumor about the NX will be something that's built-in functionality. That's my thoughts on the NX. Did I like Dream Team? I can't point to any actual Mario RPG I didn't like. So Super Mario RPG, Paper Mario 2, Paper Mario, Super Paper Mario, Mario and Luigi 1, 2, 3, 4, and 5. I'm not counting Sticker Star because it's not a Mario RPG. Yeah. Skyrim Remastered. I'm glad that we're getting it for free. Looks cool. I'm glad that it's getting on more consoles. There we go. Yes and no, Lord of Terror. It's trying something new and create. Oh, hello.
I'm Sam, joined by my colleagues Audrey and Teresa. And I know over the last couple segments, folks have seen
I like
some
their
really
shirts, by the way. I want that
locations
shirt.
from Legend of Zelda: Breath of the Wild, kind of off in the distance. But in this segment, Audrey, you're actually going to take us into a couple of the shrines that
we're going to get up close and personal with some shrines. Awesome. You're right. So first, I'm starting up here on Resurrection Tower, and it's really tall. I don't know if you can tell, but it's really tall. But that's great because it gives me a good vantage point
we can
for
see the plateau
entire
over there.
Great Plateau, which is pretty. But that's not what we're here to look at. We're here to get some shrines. So while I'm up here, I'm going to actually
Ditto.
Pull out my Sheikah slate and my scope and try and place some pins so I know exactly where I'm going to go. This is going to be super handy because this is just the starting area, but it's huge. And I tend to wander. I'm a known wanderer, so I need these pins to kind of help get me back on track whenever I go after some bokoblins that I probably shouldn't have.
I wonder if we could pop into the map for a second and just show folks exactly what the distance is between these two shrines.
Yeah. So
God, we're
those
still
two
on the
shrines,
plateau.
I'm up here, so I
That's
made them look
crazy.
pretty close together, but they're actually pretty far apart. So those pins are going to come in handy.
It's not a
There's my
tablet,
first
guys.
shrine,
It's the Wii U
and
controller.
I'm not supposed to have this yet, but I do. So I'm going to jump using my handy paraglider, and I'm going to soar to the ground and head off to my first shrine.
So satisfying to use
So
the paraglider.
satisfying. I'm going to try and not run out of stamina. That would be kind of bad.
I do like how you have
do
a
this,
fairly
like,
large amount of stamina.
ready.
That was one of my biggest complaints about Skyward Sword.
on,
Was
I
it
can
felt
make
like you
it.
had far too little
That's
stamina.
pretty close, though. That's pretty good. Now, we're going to go and see what this shrine is all about.
So I wonder, can we chat a little bit more about what the significance of the shrines is as far as why folks would want to hunt these out?
That's right. So I don't want to give too much away, but basically, if you beat the challenges in the first 4 shrines, you'll get something, which we'll see when we get in at the end of this shrine, and you can exchange that for the paraglider, which I already have because I just wanted to play around with it. But
highly worthwhile.
Normally you're going to have to actually go through the trials to get it. And in the game at large, again, I'm not going to spoil anything for anyone.
We don't
but
know literally,
it
Viridian.
plays
It's called a
large
Sheikah
part in
slate.
every
That's
game,
what we know.
in the full game. Now we're finally entering the shrine. I used my Sheikah slate. It verified that I am the hero, so I'm going to be able to get inside
dungeons.
here.
And worth mentioning too, you just
Guys,
mentioned 4 shrines that have
we
a
kept
special
asking about
significance,
dungeons.
But there are actually
Notice
over
we just had a
100
loading
shrines
screen
in
for the
this
first
world.
time.
There are loads of them to find
excuse
and
me,
loads
second
more
time.
goodies to
So
uncover
many
too.
shrines, and just dungeons, and there's just a lot to do in this game. We're just going to take a look at the first couple here, but there's a lot.
It's interesting actually thinking about how people might approach playing this game when they first head out in the plateau, depending on which direction they head, what they end up doing. These might not be the first 2 that folks run into when they're playing the game, but these are definitely 2 that give you a really nice introduction to what the shrines are all about.
It's just like you said, we're calling them the first 2 shrines. That's because they're the first 2 you probably should go to, but this game is really all about freedom and exploration. You can do anything pretty much in any order that you want, but
actually, can we take a look kind of like up and around, because it's such a cool
this is a really cool looking place.
Up.
It is really pretty.
Up.
All kinds of shiny lights.
Up.
Actually, the entry to our booth looks just like this.
Oh,
it's
the
so
booth is
cool
gorgeous.
to see it recreated.
It's really cool what they did with the constellation motif.
Looks like some metal slabs on the floor that I can't do anything with just yet, but anybody who's been playing Zelda knows if you see something that looks like you should be able to interact with it yet, but you can't, you wait. You just wait. Now, what I just did is I found this little platform here, and I put my Sheikah slate in it, and that's going to actually update my Sheikah slate with a brand new rune ability. Rune abilities allow Link to do all kinds of different cool things, not just in shrines, not just in dungeons, but all around the world. You can solve puzzles, you can find treasure chests. You can
Note
do
the
all kinds of
distinction,
things.
by the way.
This one here,
Shrine,
we just got is the Magnesis
dungeon,
rune, and just like it probably
overworld.
sounds, it's going to let us actually have a magnet-like ability. We're going to be able to pick up and
Notice there's an
interact with
amiibo
metal
symbol there, by the way. I
objects.
hope you'd caught
So
that.
we're going to have some fun with this.
I gotta say, after seeing this, updating my devices feels
No, I'm
kind
fine
of
with load
lackluster,
screens.
honestly.
Cold back.
Agreeing
I
to
understand
terms
that
of
in
service
reality,
agreements
load screens are a
doesn't have
thing,
the
so they don't
same-
bother me.
Hilarious.
It's excessive
Why
load
don't you let
times
me
that
do
bother
stuff?
me,
It's
and that's usually due to
like
bad
unlock the
optimization or
entry
memory
to
leaks or
your-
something.
Now you got all these special powers on it.
So,
It's like
magnet
multitasking,
abilities. We have just
multitasking.
become Magneto
I
Link.
want to be able to put my phone down and just have this magic Sheikah update process happen.
As you can see here, I've activated
No,
the
this will also
ability
be coming out on the
now,
NX,
and
Viridian.
I can kind of see the things that highlight as yellow. Those are things that I can interact with. So those big metal slates that I couldn't do anything with, boom, now I'm just throwing them around like they're nothing. The power. Link is drunk
Cool.
with power. Or maybe that's just me.
No.
So I
Seriously.
got those out of the way. Now, boom,
Cool.
I can actually enter the shrine and see
People
what's
were
going
asking
on.
earlier about,
Yes. Let's see what kind of
what kind of
can
items
do
we get in
with
this one. I think we just saw a sneak peek of how they're going to be doing items in this
And
one.
this is just, again,
updating
we've already
your
looked around, but this
your
is a really cool
the Wii U pad
looking
with new
shrine.
abilities like that.
It's just really, really particular. Oh, and see, I can't get past this big wall of stones, but luckily one of them is made of metal, so it stands no chance against me and my Magnesis rune.
So, can you talk a bit more about how it is that you're controlling this power?
So I'm using, like I said, I activated the ability with L, and I can actually use the controller.
Notice
to
there's music
move the
in
thing that I grabbed
here,
around.
by the way.
And I'm gonna
And in combat, I
I'm gonna
pointed that out
use
earlier.
this metal block to block this guy's attack. This guy's actually really powerful. He could do some real damage to me.
Ooh, can you
And
throw it
so I can actually. Oh no! I need you. I'm not done with you. I'm gonna push you in the water. Yeah, you don't like that, do you? I'm gonna drop that on your face. That's what I think of him.
That's a
Ooh,
shame
and he dropped some goodies.
It's
Yeah, you
shame that
noticed
that's
there were
one way
quite
to
a
deal with
few
that enemy, but
empty slots on
other
the.
players might find different
the
ways
thing.
too. It's really interesting
Ancient
to see how
screw.
you tackle the different puzzles.
And that's what this
Guys,
is all about. The way
we're
I
gonna
play
make
is not
technology in the
way
crafting
that
system.
Anybody else that I've seen play is going to play, really. It's just all about choice
Oh, I
and
know.
freedom.
Thanatos.
So, again, we've walked across this metal slate here, but that's not going to help me
That's
get
up to
across
you, Pro.
this big,
I'll understand
big
if you don't
gap.
want to stick
So,
around.
we're going to have to use our
Sniffle.
puzzle-solving abilities. And again, I'm going to lift up this metal slate and create a little bridge for myself. Oh, gently, gently, boom. Now we can get across. And look at that. That's a shiny, shiny treasure chest. We're not just going to pass that by.
Oh,
no,
nice.
no. Come to me, treasure. Come to me.
You honestly could have even grabbed that and then used that to shove it.
That could be. There could be a repair mechanic too.
You can just cause all kinds of mayhem with the Magnesis rune. It's pretty great.
There have been several Wind Waker.
And actually, one thing that folks might have been wondering when we
Things
solved
in
that
this
puzzle
so
to get
far.
across that gap is maybe why we didn't just climb that wall. Why is that a problem for us? But the structure of the shrines makes climbing around a little tricky.
That's true. They knew that we would be trying climbing everything. So a lot of these walls are really smooth, so Link can't actually climb up them. That's why he's going to have to, hey, I told you to open, stay open. Don't make me get mad. Okay, so we finally made it to the end of this dungeon, and look, it's a mysterious dude. Let's talk to him. Let's see what he's got to say. And you may have noticed there was a mysterious voice speaking to us at the beginning of the shrine. That was him. He set up this trial, and he's been watching me cause mayhem with this rune this whole time. So
he just saw you steal his treasure.
He did. He's
Hopefully
okay
he's
with
cool
it, though.
about.
Yeah.
Just raided his home, like opened everything, destroyed everything.
Broke his pet robot thing.
Yeah, right?
So
Notice no
sorry.
voice acting.
He's just been waiting for someone to cause mayhem. It's so lonely in here.
Although, to be fair, he looks like he's been waiting a really long time.
A very long time.
Probably any
Skin
entertainment at that point is worth
He looks
it.
gorgeous, though. He clearly moisturizes. Let's be real. But now, he's telling me that he's the one who set up this trial, basically, and to reward me for solving it, not only do I get this cool Magnesis rune, he's actually going to give me a Spirit Orb. The Spirit Orb, if I collect 4 of them, it's what I can exchange to the old man for the paraglider, which I already have, bwahaha. But, as I said, you collect them throughout the game from all of the other shrines, and they serve a different purpose in the full game. So, Kaylee.
Link looked a little bit
cool.
untrustworthy. He's like, what is this?
It's
I'm
not
so
every day.
sure.
Not every day you have a Spirit Orb absorbed into you.
Seriously, I'm impressed with how this guy has this pose mastered. He's seriously dedicated
Okay.
in his yoga stance.
He's very, very flexible.
I think the work that the developers did to really build the atmosphere in
Building.
the shrines is amazing. There's just such a, especially
Might
when
be
you go into
Thanatos.
them, you kind of feel it.
If I was doing that, I would
Yeah,
make
yeah,
2
it
characters
feels
have
very
voice acting.
mystical and
I bet you
very
guys can guess
magical.
the second character
And
I
that
would
would
give
be
voice
that
acting.
happen.
Cause some mayhem with the Magnesis rune.
You know me so well, Sam.
Well, now we've got it. We should try it out. See what it's all about.
It would be a disservice to the Magnesis room to not cause intense mayhem to everyone who crosses our path.
Seems fair.
So let's do just that. All right. So now I've exited the shrine, but I'm a new Link. I've got
Yeah,
new
Ganon.
abilities.
That's exactly
So
right.
these boxes actually look really similar.
I would make
to,
Zelda
a segment that
voice
Chico
acted,
just
and I
did.
would make
And,
Ganon voice
before
acted.
she couldn't open it, but Audrey's actually has the skill now to check out what's inside.
Yeah, and I can see all these different things that I can interact
Wait,
with
wait,
in the
wait. So you
world.
mean I
As
could use
was
an
mentioned
item
earlier,
from a
these,
shrine outside of a
abilities
shrine?
Are not just for shrines; they are for
Sorry.
the whole game. Shrines, dungeons, the world at large.
I know that's not the
They are
first
for
time Zelda's
treasure.
done that,
So
but every
there's
now and
that
again there's,
one treasure
like, for
chest.
example,
I'm still
Twilight
treasure
Princess
fishing,
had
you
some
know,
really
doing
cool
what I do.
items.
Oh yeah.
And the problem is a lot of those you only used in the
really.
dungeon where
It's
you
really
got
interesting
them.
thinking
So
earlier
the
on,
cool
you might
factor was
walked
reduced a
by
bit.
this little patch of water and really thought nothing of it. And it's only when you have this rune and you activate it and you actually take a look down the bottom, that you realize there's stuff hidden all over the place.
It's a whole new way to look at the world.
See you around,
And
Zoan.
now, you're not treasure. Get out of my face. I don't need you.
Aww.
That was cruel. I'm sorry.
And it's actually interesting. It looks really
Yeah, the Dominion
decorative,
Rod
like
is the
maybe a
perfect
piece of
example of that.
architecture at one point.
Use that
It's
for
pretty.
one
I was
thing
harsh on it.
outside of the
I just
dungeon, and then
love
that's
the
it,
art style
ever.
in this game. It's kind of watercolory, but there's all this intricate detail as well. It's just so gorgeous.
It's really, really beautiful, and everything is so alive. So, I should
We might
probably
not have
head on
quality
to the
options
next
right
shrine,
now.
But first, I'm gonna grab a toy. I could grab one of these boxes.
The
but
spinner's
I have
another
a
good
little
example.
friend
I
here.
love
Actually,
the
should we
spinner.
open up the boxes?
Ooh,
Maybe see if there's anything worth keeping.
That's a good point. Okay, you've convinced me. Whatcha?
Smashy, smashy.
Ooh, treasure. See,
That could become
Prime steak.
Steak. See,
I wonder if we could
Sam
cook
was
that.
right, as she often is. So,
Well, actually, Teresa had mentioned that earlier, and I felt bad that we weren't able to show this off during that earlier segment because there was one just right there.
That explains
Get to
that
show the
that's
skill. It's
a
really
what I was just
cool.
talking about, by the way.
So,
The
yeah,
first one we
it's
had the
like
pop up. The
anything
second one, there's just a little.
environment is interactable, and it's just so much
it needs
fun
to
and
keep
so gratifying
beyond
just
saves.
Explore every nook and cranny. And just
Yeah, I
cover
noticed the lack of
everything.
currency as well, or at least in terms of
Yeah, I
rupees.
found it's really interesting comparing notes with people. And there's so
As
many times
Zawan
you're
pointed
like,
out
"Oh, we found
earlier,
this
it's
thing,"
entirely
like,
possible that
"Okay."
some of the stuff we're
Oh.
getting,
Now we
like
gotta talk
the
about what
rock
we found in
salt
weird
and
little
the
nooks
wood
and
and
crannies.
whatnot,
It's so easy
will
to
actually
miss
be our
things,
new
but then
currency.
hopefully somebody else will hook
Which is
you up with
the because
information
we're
of where
pretty
to
sure
go.
there will be
Everyone's gonna play a
crafting,
little
but it
differently.
still hasn't been
hello,
100%
old
confirmed.
friend. This is my good friend Boldy.
So
Oh no.
I'm gonna use
looks
good old
dangerous.
Boldy.
it may be
I
that
think I
instead
know
of
where this is
crafting, they have a
Oh,
currency
yes.
system,
We're gonna
a
cause some
barter
mayhem.
system instead.
Luckily, as you can see, I told you I have a tendency to wander, and good thing I have that pin on this map because otherwise I would just run around killing things and breaking things for all eternity. But I kind of have a kingdom to save, so that maybe is not the best idea. So instead, I'm gonna grab Boldy here. Oh, hello, friends. I'm gonna go say hi to my friends over there.
They look like they're having a nice, peaceful conversation
Buddies.
down there.
Oh, y'all are so peaceful and cute. Wow.
Mine is
Now
too,
you're
Sean.
dead.
Hang on.
Oh no! I deserved that. That's the worst part. You know
they
what?
save you.
He
Oh,
managed
you know,
to
maybe I'm just gonna use my weapon. you let
That
me
works
down,
too.
Boldy. It's over between us.
Aw. And so the adventures end.
It's over.
Between Blink and Boldy. So sad.
I'm telling you, the mere fact that there are Koroks
You go your
means
way.
it happens
It's interesting though,
after
thinking of
uh,
how you
Ocarina,
make this
whichever
game your own.
timeline
If
it
you
happens
wanted
in.
to, you really could carry that boulder with you on all of your adventures. It could be a beautiful buddy comedy.
That sucks. Viridian, of course, you can't
But
hear a
that's
beat,
how
but
you
I hopefully
play.
we'll see you later.
That's how you get to play.
Someone tell him I
That
say
might be how I play
goodbye.
the game. We'll see.
And that he
Ooh.
can catch my
Hello,
stuff
guys.
on
There's a lot of
on the
firepower.
YouTube later.
I mean, we're here.
Oh, okay, we are here. Okay, maybe I'll go steal. No, I have a mission. I have a mission, darn it. I'm gonna go towards it. See, there's so many ways to distract yourself in this game. Things to collect, things to kill. I feel really bad about harping on bokoblins, but they just happen to be the enemy in the
So I
Great
know you
Plateau
guys don't
area,
care.
so they get
Smash
a lot
Bros.
of
on
my
Wii U is
anger,
$20
but it's
off
nothing
right now.
personal.
I feel like we're gonna find
Legend of
those.
Zelda
We might
Wind
be
Waker
receiving letters that
HD,
say
the
Bokoblin
Wii U
group or
version,
something after
It's
this.
true.
is
I'm sorry, I promised to mess with a whole bunch of other different
$20
kinds of
off.
enemies.
Yeah, there are so
Later in the
many
game.
Equal opportunity.
Yes.
Well, there are so many other enemies and monsters to find. We just happen
Splatoon
to be in Bokoblin territory,
is
but
$15 off.
It's not just the goblins that you get to.
we can leave them alone for a little bit.
Yes.
Minish
give 'em a little
Cap
break.
is
Now I've made my
$3
way
off.
to
Link to the
second
Past
shrine,
is
and
$3
I'm
off.
kind of this big labyrinth.
Paper
and as you can
Mario
see there,
is
a lot
$8
of
off.
Suspicious-looking rocks.
Looks like that's it. Those are the sales
around.
going on right now.
Oh,
during
hello.
that's
Hello.
those sales are only
Hello
true for the
there.
next like 2
All right,
days.
now one of them has come
For anybody who
alive.
cares.
And I will tell you, yes,
That's not a good
from
light.
experience, that guy is really powerful, and he will make me have a bad day.
See
if
you
I
around,
let him.
Myron. Get
So
some good
I'm
rest.
gonna have this tasty snack that I
Nom,
cooked
nom,
up earlier, and what
Cooked.
that's gonna do is give me a
Cooked.
few.
I think that's
extra
officially a cooking
So-
confirmation, but we were already pretty sure about
One of
that
the
after the
great
Prime
lights
Steak
about this
thing.
game is that there are numerous
So you
ways
notice
to
this
go
guy
about
can't move.
Everything. I
At least
tend
from what
to
I'm
go
seeing.
For the stupidest way possible.
It's not stupid.
Solve everything.
It's challenging.
It's what I do.
You're not a gamer if you don't try to make it difficult on yourself.
Okay, it's okay. Now I'm trying
That
to
missed you
use
by
this
a
guy's
hair.
firepower to break the boulder here
You can do that?
without killing myself, which is actually. Oh, I need food.
It did hit the
Wow!
badly.
That hit like a
the rocks are
truck!
The rocks are gone. It's okay.
And everything's on fire.
I'm not scared. I'm just hurrying. I'm in a hurry. So,
Wow.
the, shall we
That
say,
looked like it
most
hurt.
smarter way to do that,
That
would
was-
have been to sneak around and climb up that wall. That would have been a bit
6.5
safer,
hearts
but
of damage.
Hey, gotta live life on the edge, right? So let's get safely into the shrine, away from that very
no,
angry
no.
guardian. A fun thing to note is that there are other guardians like him around who will wake up and give you trouble. You actually can defeat them. The thing about this game is, to some extent, you can set your own difficulty level. So you could actually try to defeat that guy, and maybe you'll be
Exactly,
able to.
Samurai.
But
Hey,
it's
Lonely.
probably a better idea to go get more hearts, get
Welcome
better
to the
equipment,
game
but it's
I am
really
sold
your
on.
choice if you want to try and tackle the
Damn it!
more
No,
difficult
I
enemies
missed
and
it.
wait
There was a
until you're better
thing
prepared.
saying
So
ingredients have
kind
many
of up
uses
to you.
beyond,
kind of
and I didn't read the rest of it.
first
I
time
wasn't
playing,
prepared
just
to read
feeling
it.
So like carried by the spirit of adventure that
Damn
I
it.
had my stick and I ran off into the distance and I ran into those when I was not at all prepared. It didn't go well. Shall we say?
Come on, show me that.
We all did.
Ah.
This is a mistake.
Very valuable life lesson.
Learn from our mistake, people. Okay, we hear another mysterious voice. Dude, we know we're gonna do the thing and get the thing. Don't worry about it. So,
Bomb trial. Well, we've already seen the
Wants it.
bomb in
He does.
action, so there's nothing really to.
Here's another really cool shrine, and this one is gonna give us the bomb.
Breath of
rune.
Wind, Samurai.
As you might imagine, it lets us blow stuff
Let's
up.
be honest, we're
Okay,
still like
cool.
90% certain there's
I like
crafting.
it.
It's just no one's
As you've noticed with
actually
these first two
discussed
shrines, they
or
give you
shown
they're kinda
crafting
shorter.
yet.
They
That's
give you
why
a
I'm like,
primer on these runes, just give you the basic idea of different ways you can use them to interact with the world. As
I
you
believe these are Nintendo of
progress in the
America
game,
personnel,
It's going to get a lot
Thanatos.
more complicated, the puzzles you solve and the things you do using these different runes. So enjoy the simplicity of these first shrines, trust me.
did you notice that was 8 total uses by the, or 8 total functionality, if we're counting the
A
amiibo.
cubic bomb and a spherical bomb, and we're going to use those for different things. So I pulled out a spherical bomb here, and we're on a flat surface, so it doesn't make much of a difference, but that's actually going to roll. And that's going to open up
I already
some
pointed out we have a
possibilities,
timer on the
which we're gonna
bombs
show
instead
off
of
in a
currency,
bit.
or instead of
It's
ammo,
interesting,
which I like
drawing
actually.
folks' attention to the fact that we're able to detonate
The
that whenever you're
3DS
ready. So it gives you a
Zelda
lot
kind
of
of
control,
played with that idea
especially
too.
over the spherical bombs, where you're maybe rolling them down a surface and you want to make sure they detonate just the right moment. You can be really precise about how you're handling the detonations.
That's true.
And there's no limit to the number of bombs you have. You just have that gauge that you just have to wait to refresh, but the bombs are limitless.
Gives you a chance to experiment.
Exactly.
That's very true. And I just got a treasure chest using my handy bomb. Yes, it's so satisfying placing them. Just
As
make
Pax
sure
points
that
out,
you're
she
at a
keeps
good
calling them
distance when you
bombs.
detonate it because,
Obviously
you know,
a Mario
fun
player.
fact, Link can explode. You probably don't want that.
Yeah, probably not.
So.
Especially after that encounter with the Guardian. That's very similar to the BMOs of past games.
You might be a little low on food now.
Now we're on a moving platform here, and I don't think my spherical bomb's gonna do so well here. So I actually changed to a cubic bomb, and
You don't-
just get out of the way here.
As I say, you don't want to stand right there.
I want that to blow up that wall, and I don't want to be anywhere near it when that happens. Boom. See now.
Agreed,
I better
P-Run.
eat some food.
I actually agree with you on
Link is
that.
peckish.
It's interesting looking at the two shrines that we're checking out here. They're fairly.
I think it's just the one they have access to, Ryan. We've already seen that there's multiple different outfits which change your
some that are
appearance. We've already seen
small, some that are
3
much larger as well.
to date.
Very true. Now, as you can see around
Ah!
here, we have these things.
We have bomb launchers.
that
Okay.
shoot forward,
Excuse me,
and
bomb
I'm gonna
launchers.
Use this as an opportunity to blow more things up. So I'm gonna drop this bomb down there.
I love how
And
this looks like a theme park.
Yes,
So good.
All theme parks should have explosives.
And actually, in the distance there, we can
Oh,
see
yes.
you're being watched.
Oh yeah, I see
Oh.
some- I'll be there in a second, dude.
buddy.
I've got stuff to do. So I really love this part.
Well, I'm glad you're having fun,
Melcher.
Melcher.
And you
I,
mentioned theme
I do
parks.
try
We're
to
about
make my
go for a
streams
ride.
enjoyable. I don't always succeed, of course.
There
No
are prob-
whiplash. Success.
Yes, there are probably better ways to get that treasure chest, but
That's
no,
true, they
aren't.
are
That's
doing-
the
all
way to
doing
get that
blue.
treasure chest.
And I can imagine a way that's more fun.
You'll also notice all of the technology
And I
is
got a really
either
nice
blue
photo of it.
or
That's
kind of an
gonna come in
amber.
handy later.
You notice that?
So like Sam was talking about earlier where
I don't know the significance of
there's
that
a
yet,
lot
but
of
they're clearly
shrines,
doing that on
and
purpose.
It's really interesting to see like, Anuma-san saying and Bill talking about how this was related to the art style was Japanese anime, and the number of shrines that are on here, it's pretty similar to like how many temples there are in Japan. So it's really interesting to see that comparison.
But it's definitely cool having all these sacred sites all over the world to find. And I've actually been trying to figure out with all the constellation motif that we see in the shrines here.
Blue is always associated with
outside on a
wisdom.
really clear night,
In Zelda in
and you look
particular.
up in the sky. I've been trying to figure out whether or not I can
And if you
find the
think
same
about it,
constellations.
the idea of wisdom,
beautiful
the
looking
Triforce of
stars.
Wisdom leading to a
Clear night
technological
outside.
renaissance
It's gorgeous when it changes from day to
makes
night
a degree of
different weather.
sense, doesn't
So,
it?
We finally made it to the end here. I'm sorry.
I also
about
like the
blowing
color
up
blue in
your
general,
home.
so that's appealing to me.
I didn't mean to.
It's one of the things I liked about Avengers, for example.
I think he understands, though. He's an understanding guy.
He's got that smirk on his face, like, I know what you've done.
Back in his day, he would have done the same thing. But we got our second spirit orb.
This is going to be my longest E3
We should
presentation
also
thus
talk
far.
about
I just
the
realized that.
difference between
Because they're still going.
dungeons
We're almost
and
at the
shrines
3 hour mark.
because they're not one and the same in this game.
It's true. They're not. Shrines are supplementary to dungeons. I don't want to give away too much, but yeah, as Sam mentioned, there are a ton of shrines, like over 100 shrines. There are so many that
100?
They're just gonna be a little sprinkling of things to do on your experience. But yes, there are dungeons in the sense that Zelda fans are used to.
Exactly.
All right, we
You
got
heard
our
that, right?
spirit orb.
And I've got to ask
100 shrines. Now, we've seen the shrines are, whoops, basically like 2-room puzzles. So that makes a degree of
used
sense,
my
but
sword
damn!
to blow up that wall, but if I hadn't, I could have actually bombed that wall to have an easy way out.
And of course, dungeons separate from shrines, which I already made that distinction myself.
Or try where Chico didn't
They just
succeed at
confirmed it.
rolling at some bokoblin camps.
You know I'm always game to blow up bokoblin.
And yeah, he still has the Gerudo stuff.
Oh, they're scary.
Time passes while you're in a shrine. That's interesting.
Yes.
Remember in
Nice.
Ocarina, for example,
Blew them
time
up.
didn't.
It gave me more
And
joy
that
than
they're
it
kind of
probably
more
should
hit or
have.
miss on some of the other
There's
ones.
something kind of tragic and poignant about these runes. Just imagining how beautiful they would have been.
I would say Hyrule Warriors is worth picking up.
Okay,
It
is
is
it?
fun.
Hey, buddy,
It is
let's-
not
let's
part of
be
the canon
friends.
at all.
Oh, I don't want to be your friend.
It is worth noting.
You're not very bombable.
Well, as you are wrapping this
Well,
up,
to date, we still don't really have a good answer of who or what the Sheikah are, along with a couple of other
checking out these shrines
things.
with us. Thanks for watching. Please stay tuned. In a few minutes, we're going to be coming back with a look at weapons and combat in more detail. So we'll be
So,
right back.
combat
Please
is
don't go anywhere.
next.
Thanks for watching. Bye.
Just going to mute that because I anticipate what's going to happen here. What, you mean like in the first game, Ryan? What was I going to say? We don't know who the Dark Interlopers are exactly. We don't know who the Sheikah are exactly. We don't know who the Minish are exactly. You know, there's a few species in the franchise that we don't really have a concrete answer as to who or what they are. I've talked about this before. It would be interesting if we actually learn more in this one about some of the nature of, and I mean, the Sheikah are getting tons and tons of screen time here, so the Sheikah. Do I think weapons have a durable limit? Well, everything we've seen so far, no. Yes, we will be streaming this game when it comes out. I'm already decided on that. The day this game comes out, I'm going to have my copy here, and I'm going to be streaming it with you guys. Already decided. I need to come up with a term for those, because that's kind of different than my explorations. I did that with Dragon Age Inquisitions. I'm going to be doing it with Mass Effect Andromeda. I need to come up with a term for, you know, that doesn't involve the word reaction, because I don't want to get sued. Yeah, I do too, Samurai. Yeah, we don't know anything about the tribe in Majora's Mask. Thank you. I knew there was one I was forgetting there. Blind Let's Plays. Well, I did use the term blind run. I guess I could just keep using that term. I mean, because the blind run is what I've already been calling that. I've already used that term in the past. I used it with Fallout 4. I used it with Dragon Age Inquisition. I could just keep calling them blind runs. But anyway, so yes, I do intend to do a blind run of this game. I like Premiere Run, actually. That sounds a little bit better than blind run. Because blind run, really, I don't think actually works just right. A blind run is actually closer to what I do for explorations, aka here's a game I want to try out. Like for example, when that new Mountain Blade comes out, I intend to do an exploration on that because I'm basically walking in blind. By contrast, this game I actually know a decent amount about, and I'm walking into it knowing what I'm going for. So I like that idea. Premiere run. I'm going to use that. Shadow, you win. So we don't have that many runs, B-Run. We've got Premiere Run, we've got Explorations, we've got Speed Runs, we've got Lore Runs, and Chimera Runs, and I think that's actually it. Yeah, what Samurai says is quite accurate. So I like that. I'm going to keep using that. Premiere Run. Oh yeah, and then there's the chill runs. Sorry, I actually forgot about that. Chill run is something I've only done once with FF12 International, but I like that idea. Chill run is probably the closest thing to the typical Let's Play format that I do. Yes, Spirit of Memory. I will be doing a blind run in exploration of Bannerlord. The new whatchafig. I have so many games to explore. You guys have no idea. This probably would have been a premiere run, too, when I think about it, the new Star Fox. Because I didn't exactly go into this one blind. I might go rename that. It was kind of an exploration, though. I did beat the game, or rather, one route through the game while I was playing it. See, if I say activation, people are going to say, you mean Activision? No, activation. Activision? No, activation!
Treehouse Live at E3. I'm Ed, here with Audrey and Chico, and we're going to be playing some more The Legend of Zelda Breath of the Wild. For this segment, we're going to be focusing on some weapons and combat.
Yeah. Oh, yes, I heard Ryder, sorry. And yeah, I'm kind of pumped, too.
Serious battles, you always want to make sure you have enough stuff. So
yeah, I did, Thanatos. I actually liked the controls in this game. Call me one of the weirdos, but I liked it.
Borrowing it? Okay.
You're going to return it later.
I will return
them,
definitely. If I don't break them. We'll see.
Sleep? Sleeping is an option. Did you see that, guys?
At least I know breaking their base, so that's fine.
What are you doing not breaking their base?
Well,
okay, I'm a bad influence.
We're breaking the convention of Zelda this time.
That's true. That's true.
I do plan to stream Skywind when it comes out, by the way. I don't know if I've ever said that officially, but that's always been something I plan to do.
So you got a good variety of weapons already, just from
correct, Pro Idiot.
You got a spear, otherwise known as a poke and stick.
Big
you got all kinds of good stuff.
Yes, yes. So,
yeah, let's see some combat in action. We've already seen a little bit. Let's really see some combat.
Know what you're doing and what kind of enemies.
Call me a weirdo. I liked Twilight Princess's combat. It's probably my favorite combat in a Zelda game to date. I also really, 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 really like the fact.
Do you see that? He's like he's eating his own something.
He's scratching his butt.
That the arrows have an arch.
Oh, no.
You seeing that?
He's gonna tell his friends about you.
I really like that.
You sounded the call.
Fine, in that case, I'm just gonna
you're
throw
not scared,
it. Oh no, he is.
Oh, get him.
Ha.
Watch out for the dude with the fire torch.
So, I wanted to actually show different one how the axe moves. So
I already pointed this out.
The movement is
yeah, you noticed how the actual actions are much slower
so it's nice
in axe. So the actual weapons have different feels to them and speed, in addition to everything else. Notice you have tons of inventory space on everything except for weapons and armor, by the way.
Okay.
Lincoln is at his best with the full tummy.
Yeah, and then it looks like the
that could be Renegade. That's a legitimate possibility. Twilight Princess gave a lot of the impetus for the combat to you, the player, and that might be why it was so easy. Because the same thing with option. Whenever you have optional, whenever you can customize your character, the game's going to be easier because the player will always figure out ways to make the game, to own the game basically.
About it a little bit later, I guess. About the cooking.
Oh yeah.
Cooking. Cooking. Finally, they say it.
It's no secret, but we can talk more about it. And maybe people already know that I like the meat, so I'm gonna take it with me.
Are you gonna steal their steak?
Yes. Well, no, they don't. They no longer need it, so I'm just
true. They were gonna waste it.
Exactly. So.
Yes, yellow hearts. We actually saw that earlier, but yeah, that's a thing too.
Nice.
because I see this suspicious thing over here.
If you see something suspicious, light it on
Always
fire.
burn it.
That's what you do.
Pyromaniacs are going to love
Not
this
in
game, I'm
life,
telling you.
Just in the game.
Just in the game. I have little kids at home too.
Yes.
So I will not do that.
I have Lord of Terror. It hasn't really caught me the same way
Seems like a
Skywind
good
has.
idea. Shooting some bees.
Yep. Switch it. Are they coming after
Here
me?
they come.
I knew it. Leave me alone. Ha. Bye-bye. No. Seriously. You keep coming at me. Bye-bye.
Preferred weapon against bees.
Jeez Louise, Deutsch.
Broadsword.
Yes.
And
course, I did
keep the
too.
honeybee there,
Bills.
And I can use that for cooking later.
Big, massive bills.
Get some
Wait,
treasure.
actually, I think that one bill
So I'm
payment
just
didn't go
using
through.
the
Note
two-handed
to
sword
self,
now.
pay bill.
So
I'm going to make a
even
note
just
on my
sword,
hand.
There's like a one-handed and a
Pay
two-handed one.
bill.
And of course, two-handed one is better, more powerful. However, you won't be able to use the shield, so you can't kind of protect yourself.
No, Pro. Nor will I until I know more about the story.
Okay.
I don't even know if Andromeda's going to be part of the canon
Make
yet.
sure I get all the stuff. And the only reason that all those like item menu screen
Yes,
comes up
Andromeda
is
will be a
because that was
premiere
the
run,
first time
absolutely.
I picked up that specific item. Once I picked up that one again, the second time it's not going to show up, so
Right.
you don't have to worry about seeing that over and over.
I like
Yeah,
how
you
she
get a nice
addresses that
description
point.
Once you pick it up, but then you're done. You
Yeah.
can see it in your menu if
Gotcha,
you want
Deutsch.
to. But
I
actually like
understand.
seeing that when I find a new item because that way like I know what the the damage level is or what kind of things it is, how can I use it. So that's a good information to know.
yeah.
Okay, looks like there's another bokoblin camp over there.
Yeah, we mentioned this in the last segment. We're picking on the poor bokoblins this time. That's because
Right.
they're the predominant enemy in this Great Plateau area. There are lots of other enemies to mess with
Oh,
in the
yeah.
world at large, but these guys are going to get all of it for now.
And then maybe some of you noticed that
Stealth,
on the right bottom there's a purple thing, like a gaze moving.
Calling out the stealth thing.
That's a sound.
I like how we already
gauge. So
noticed all
when
this
I move
stuff.
around, I make noise that moves a lot more. And if I
Good, Ryan.
walk around just like this, it makes even bigger movement. Oh, I moved too close.
Oh,
no,
they're
no,
suspicious.
No, I don't want you to notice me. So I'm now crouching down, trying to be a little more sneaky.
I have no idea, Spirit of Memory.
And there's
Really, I
another
don't.
innocent bokoblins, enjoying their
They're not
evening.
innocent.
Well, that's
They're
true. They
horrible
will come
people.
after me. So no, they're not people.
They're
not
horrible
people.
things.
Yes.
They're not people.
Horrible
Guys,
monsters.
bokoblins are not people.
This is another way to use a honeybee. They're basically naked,
Okay.
so when they see the
Cool.
the bees actually go after them, and they don't like it. So when they see the bees, they actually go after it. Ah, sorry, I'm a little busy right now. Oops. Change it to something else.
Switch it up. The one-handed sword.
Oh no, this guy's.
Yeah.
Oh, you got him though.
Oh, nice.
So notice special attacks take
And the
stamina.
weapons
Interesting
do
way to
break,
control
so
that.
you want to
Stamina
make
refills
sure that
pretty
you
quickly,
pick
too.
up enemies' weapons, so you have
See you around,
enough
Pro.
stash for you to prepare for the next battle. And you can only have limited number of weapons in your slots. Like just now, I'm trying to pick it up, I can't because I already have enough. So that time I have to decide: do I want to keep the one I have, or do I want to swap it to the one I just found? So I'm just gonna lose that one and get
See you around,
another
Arsky.
one. And of course, pick up the honeybee.
The cool thing is when you find a new weapon too, you can immediately see what the new stats are. So you can kind of decide on the fly, is this better, is this worse, do I leave it, do I grab it, so.
Okay. And then also at nighttime, daytime and nighttime, the animals and then the enemies you see will be different. So, oh, sunset fireflies.
You can get. So I noticed butterflies earlier.
Dynamic
I was wondering if you could catch them.
wildlife
Different
setting
enemies, yeah.
Confirmed.
Yeah,
based
it looks
on
so
time of
different
day.
too from where we were exploring our.
Yeah, by the way, those of you who care, they're doing a
Oh,
Hitman
wow,
thing right
there's
about
more.
now over on Square Enix's channel.
That's some
Twitch.tv/Square Enix.
Ah, missed it.
Nice.
Oh.
Headshot.
I like the fact they're using the rock.
Yeah,
And
he
the-
didn't have
the
a
other,
weapon.
See, the other guy was waiting for the other
They're
guy
doing this
to
episodic
lose his
thing,
head, so
Thanatos. At least
he can
if
take
memory
it.
serves.
They're so crafty. If they don't have a weapon, they'll just dig up a rock to throw at you. Anything to hurt you.
Yeah.
Yes, the bokoblin
I
arm.
know, that's your favorite.
This is
isn't
my
it?
favorite.
Yes.
I'm gonna make her equip it at some point. She's a little busy right now.
So notice the super
he
mega
lost his
swing actually
head.
took up your entire bar of stamina. But there were 3 distinct levels of swing: basic,
You can
second,
see the
and
hand
full.
crawling across the
I
ground.
know.
Yeah, they're doing some Mankind Divided stuff too, which is again kind of a weird thing since I'm already
So
sold on
let
that
me
one.
change it to something else.
No, they show other stuff, Lurker.
So I'm using a spear, and then the movement is a little bit different. It kind of,
Now that's
really
interesting.
fast. Yep.
The spear also has the
So
same
when the
3
enemies
levels of
have the
charge,
spear,
if
it's
you
much
saw
better
that.
to use that than the sword, of course.
Suddenly getting Secret of Mana vibes here.
Right.
So there's one of those
Explore
pillar
and
things,
try
but
to
that one's
see if
blue
there's
instead
any
of red.
more,
You notice that?
Enemies.
That was a good,
Pointing it
good
out.
time to equip
Because the other ones
arm.
were clearly red.
Throwing it out there. If you wanted to, just real
Did I pick it
quick.
Oh, yeah.
Yay, look!
Audrey's favorite!
It's wiggling still. I'm sorry, I'm easily amused. And if he puts it on his back, it gets all wiggly
Yeah.
and grabby and yep.
Like trying to,
Let me out.
Something.
Terrifying.
I don't know.
Let me out.
It's a big fan of Link, you know. Okay, that's
So
all I had to say. I just wanted to see the arm wiggle a little. Go about your business.
So there's another Bokoblin camp. This one looks a little bit different, so I want to kind of show how it looks from the front.
Yes, it is
If I can
Samurai.
sneak up to them.
It's pretty fun too.
And again, this is one of those things,
wait.
as people are adventuring, people are exploring,
there's
everyone's kind
Guardians
of
I
taking their
imagine
own
as well,
takes on
Takoida. I was thinking more the
different
lore
things. You're-
significance,
you see this
aka we're
camp
turning
and,
things from
you know, you
red
could
to
rush
blue,
right in.
and what that
There's
actually
ways-
means.
there's different ways to
Red,
do
by
this,
the way,
and
is
Chico's
usually
gonna kinda
associated
take
with
us around to
power
give us a
in
full
the Zelda
survey of the
mythos.
land here. So we're going to get a good look at how things are set up here.
There's more big meat over there too, but
You're gonna take their steak
I
too.
will come to them later. The thing is that they actually go to sleep at nighttime, so right now they're sleeping over there, so they don't even know I'm right here waiting to pick up their meat.
Steal their weapons
Yep,
and their
yep.
food while they're
Yep, yep, yep,
sleeping.
yep.
Devious.
So it looks like a skull-shaped, I don't know, what do you call it? Like house?
Yeah, they got a skull house.
Lol,
You know,
lol.
to each their own. It's okay.
There's a big sitcom in the 80s. Skull House.
And then the
I like how the Watcher is up
did I
at night, but everyone else isn't, and the Watcher can wake the others up.
Well,
I should
That's
have
kind of
it
cool,
done it
actually.
right. I'm gonna hide
Not
it,
exactly
I'm
the
gonna
first
hide
game
it
to
so they
do
don't
that,
wanna
but
notice.
still a cool concept.
they're
I'm gonna hide.
suspicious,
Incoming
but
They're
Jeez.
suspicious.
you can't fool that guy
Oh,
though.
that's right.
He knows what's up. Yes.
Everybody go to sleep.
Hit him with
Nothing
the
is
wiggle
happening. Nothing is happening. Go to sleep.
Go to sleep. La la la.
Yeah. They do that.
There we go.
Okay.
Relax. Nothing to see here.
That doesn't look like a cloud shadow that's going over them right now.
So it looks like there's a explosive in there too.
What the heck is... Oh, that must just be the moon
What I'm doing.
setting
You're gonna
or
let them
something.
sleep peacefully, right?
Yes.
Right?
Yes.
Oh.
Let sleeping bokoblins fly.
I made a mistake.
You alerted them, and
Oh, no, it didn't work, didn't it?
Okay, they're suspicious, but they're okay.
Oh, I'm so
they're gonna
bad at
come
this right now. Fine.
Fine, I'll
Find
just
another
bomb
way to
you
blow them
then. God.
Just get right in there.
If you care so much.
Oh. I don't know if there were big red barrels, which always means explosions
Yeah,
in video
so
games.
I wanted to use the lamp to do that one, but I just had to
The
stage
fact that you
fright.
can knock down a lamp
Hey,
while
you
in
got the
stealth
explosion, that's
outside
There's
in order
multiple ways
to
to,
explode a
solve
place
the
that has bombs.
puzzles and
That's
enemies,
that's
defeat
kind of
enemies,
cool.
so I just tried
I like that.
I was just doing it. I was intentionally
Again,
making mistakes.
nothing
Makes it
new,
fly.
Yes.
but I like it.
And now you can steal their treasure.
Yes.
It's great.
Oh, see? So I got the new soldier's broadsword, which is 14 instead of 5.
Nice
so,
upgrade.
just
14
seeing that screen, it
instead
really
of
helped what
5.
I got.
Wow.
Double help. Oh no, I can't take it, so I have to change. Is it Audrey? Is it okay for me to leave
It's
the
okay. We had our
arm?
fun.
Yeah.
Goodbye,
sorry.
sweet
Audrey
arm.
has been satisfied.
Yes. You can just stay there wiggling
Still
forever.
I love it.
But yeah, the guy you killed was really powerful bokoblin, so he dropped a really powerful sword.
Arrows.
Get
Yay.
arrows.
We got arrows for
Don't
killing
sneeze
the
on those
camp.
arrows. You're gonna need
I
them.
get this weird feeling arrows are going to become a valuable resource in this game. Who else is getting that impression?
Look up at the stars in the sky. It's
Like,
so
I don't mean
pretty.
like super uncommon,
Really
but
pretty.
definitely the kind of
Yeah.
stuff you're gonna want to use carefully.
They have no idea what I'm trying to do.
Now they're gonna go into the big sleep. It'll be a natural transition.
So I have a fire arrow and bomb arrow.
You probably
Which
missed
one
it,
should I use?
Deutsch. I am hopeful slash. I like the idea of there not actually being. Love that arc.
Did you?
of us not actually wielding
Yes.
the Master Sword in this one. Yeah, that definitely did eat a few
Fireworks.
frames.
So, you know, some people might really
I'm
like to
okay
just
with that.
jump
It
into the
wasn't
battle
super
and then try to
obtrusive.
kill them with a sword and stuff. But sometimes, like a person like me who's not good.
Oh, you
at
were there for
battle,
that, Deutsch. Well, then
I
yeah,
just
I would
like
probably
to
do a
be
ridiculous amount of
sneaky
damage.
and try to shoot like explosive at them and just take
Get them from a distance.
Ooh, their buckle club is.
You want to
Fire.
exploit the fact that bokoblins seem to have an affinity for sleeping next to highly flammable barrels.
It's true.
I mean, it only makes sense.
Or you can charge in
it wasn't my
swords
fault.
blazing if you want. We've
They're
already
maybe
seen
not
that.
the smartest monsters.
Oh, there's apple.
Yeah, there's some really
It's always
clear Wind
important to have
Waker
enough food so you can restore your health.
vibes
More
to the
food, the better.
graphics and to a lot of other
Bokoblin.
things too.
Oh, style bokoblin.
See you around, Bragwin.
Get in there.
Given the whole wisdom motif we're already kind of seeing all over the place, I think it would be extremely cool if we never do use the Master Sword.
Oh, the pitchfork.
Is that a pitchfork? For the same general reason that Zelda never really used the Master Sword, you know?
Where's the head? Where's the head? Oh, head's.
That was
Oh, heads
thunder,
is
that
still
was
there.
not the game. Sorry, we have a bit of a storm going on right now.
His friend's arm.
He's wielding his friend's arm,
his
and his
own
friend is
friend.
upset about
I
that.
know.
But you've used so many different kinds of weapons so far, and this is just a small sampling of the different kinds of weapons in the game.
So far
There's
we've
so
seen three
many
weapon
different
types
many
that
kinds
I've
of
noticed.
weapon
3 weapon
choice.
types.
Mm-hmm.
Stabby,
Take.
sword and board, big two-hander.
Oh.
I'd be okay if there were only those 3 types. That's a good variety between those 3.
Environment.
But what do you guys think? Do you think there's going to be a 4th or 5th
Here we go.
weapon type?
It's away.
Did I miss the whole
Now they're
thing?
coming
Really?
after you.
Fine.
So far we've only seen the one MP. Did he just do that in midair?
Ha.
Nice.
That's better
Well done,
anyway.
Chico. That's style points.
You got them.
That's kind of cool.
Oh,
Ah.
careful. He was gloating.
Nice.
What a jerk.
So I love that move that you can do when you're leading.
I guess the range
You
type
can
qualifies
start
as a weapon
stall
too.
time
We've
with
seen
So
bow.
whenever you're
So
trying
4
to jump
types
off
if
from
we're
the
qualifying
higher
ranged.
cliff, try to use the arrow, then you go into that mode where you can kind of slow down the time, so you have better time to kind of concentrate and try to
I
focus.
still want to know what
where
that
to
red stuff
shoot.
is over there.
It's really
That's
cool.
just-
You can do
It
that
feels
from-
really good too.
Yeah, you can do that from really
Show
high
me the
up,
spike.
too, and
Yeah.
it's
Oh,
Show me the
really
spike.
epic.
Uh-huh. So
No, no, keep
as
going.
You
I
might
wanna-
have noticed that I use a lot of bow and arrow, and sometimes I run out of my arrows. So what I do is actually try to pick up the ones my enemy dropped, and make sure I have enough.
So we've
You
got the
kind of taunt
Morrowind
them to
slash
be
Oblivion
shooting at you.
thing
Hey,
going on there with
it's a
arrows.
dangerous game.
It
but
is.
It's cheap,
It
easy
can
way
be.
to get arrows.
Exactly.
See? Boom.
That's one way to refill arrows.
Thank
I know
you.
she's doing it on purpose, Raskor.
They're playing
Damn it.
right into your hands.
I just want to know what the spikes are. I want all the lore now.
Okay. I'm busy. You wanna
Yeah, they're
go?
doing a Dragon Quest Builders thing.
Oh, sorry. I wasn't meant to do that.
Chico's going for pure style here.
By the way, I'm probably
Substance,
picking up
all
Dragon
style.
Quest Builders if it
You're
comes out on
such
PC.
All different kinds of ways to play this game.
On the way to
Only
here, I
if it
saw
comes out on
the
PC.
Guardian. So
I'm
I
not
kinda
playing
wanted to be
Minecraft
there,
with a
make sure I
controller.
get there before
I want a mouse.
runs out.
Anyone watching the previous segment, I told him what's what. Yep.
Did he?
By running, running really
Running as
fast.
fast as my stamina wheel would carry me.
I think he got the point though. He's pretty
Yeah.
terrified.
Let me try it.
That's
Where's-
true.
where's-
Wisdom usually is
where's
associated
the
with
fire?
time as well. And there's a red spike you can see in the
There's-
distance, by the way. Right there. See it?
Okay.
Oh, there you go. There you go. He's over there. I'm going to do this.
I believe in you, Chico.
Yes.
So we're entering a new area here.
Haven't seen anything that's of a green motif yet.
That
For those of you
one
not aware,
looks
green
good.
usually is associated with courage
That
in
one
the
looks good.
Zelda mythos.
Let's go.
We got all these guardian relics around.
Oh, he's waking up.
Uh-oh.
Good morning.
Good
It works.
morning.
Oh,
He's
Beamos.
grumpy when he
thing.
wakes up.
Ah, no.
You've missed all the things,
there's-
Darker.
There's always a way
Your
to-
bow's gonna break.
Really?
Yeah, this is
Will?
clearly a Beamos
Ah,
parallel or whatever.
fine.
It's okay. You got what?
Jeez
5
Louise.
damage?
That is true. And I
Oh.
You scope him out.
I am too,
Oh
Casual.
yeah, that's right. should
let's
do that
see.
first to make sure.
Yeah.
So this will give us a little analysis of his hit points.
100 something health.
Alrighty.
If you
500.
500 health.
I don't
think
know.
you can do it. I believe in you.
Yeah. So one other thing you can do with the weapon is actually you can throw the weapon like that, and
It'll give you a critical hit if you actually land it on them.
That is true. Yeah, I forgot to mention that.
Good way to get rid of weapons that are about to break.
But what I can do now is
That's right.
So
Weapons
speaking
are
of freedom
magnetic.
and weapons, this is one of the weirdest things I've ever seen anyone do.
Wait, what? Seriously?
I'm not dead.
You need to eat something.
6.5, by the way.
right
I was
now.
right.
And I have food.
That was
Okay.
6.5 health. Damage.
Nice. Run, run.
It's a fine strategy.
She was already down a
It's
quarter.
a great strategy.
It's a really creative strategy.
It
is
is.
what it is.
I think it'll ultimately get him.
That's probably totally useless and really cool, and I'm probably going to do that a few times, just for cool factor.
As we keep saying, you can play this game however you want.
you want.
You can even throw your weapons using magnetic.
Yeah, I think it would, Tashel.
Oh!
You don't even have a tree branch, Chico.
Just run! Run!
Yeah, there you go. Proof definitive.
Live to fight another day!
Well, I think we're actually running out of time.
Otherwise, we would have got him.
The world definitely wants to see Chico versus the Guardian. I know.
Oh
that.
my God.
But I think we'll have to stop there. Chico, thanks very much. We'll be doing more of this stuff. Audrey, thank you as well. Don't go anywhere. We're coming back with more Legend of Zelda: Breath of the Wild. We're going to talk a little bit about
nice
Amiibo.
dodge.
So stick around.
Magnetic sword only combat. I like that idea. She didn't die if you were listening. That's why I kept the audio on for a second there. She actually dodged at the end there. Yes, there's still more Zelda. Tell me the lore. Tell me the story. So adult timeline is Wind Waker, right? I never get them correct between adult and child. I always call them Wind Waker and Twilight Princess. Because personally, yeah, I'm thinking my biggest theory is this is after Spirit Tracks. My second biggest theory is that this is after Twilight Princess, and my smallest and tiniest theory is that this is after Zelda 2. You'll notice all three of my theories are having it after all existing Zeldas. At least part of that is the fact that if you paid attention, all of the Zeldas kind of ended rather definitively. You know, the Spirit Tracks, it's, done. Twilight Princess, done, It's the biggest area of a blank space to do story-wise. Is post. Good God. I'm going to poke my head out the window. I want to see what in the world. We are storming like crazy right now. It's okay. I got a battery backup, guys. If needed. It's okay. It's okay. It's just a storm. Too bad you went out earlier. Okay, there's no worries. There's holy moly. What's funny is it basically just started raining. You can probably hear it now. It's been thundering, but it just started raining. Well, if a tornado hits me, I will die as I lived with video games. Wow. Darn. This is the first time I've had to do this. I actually have to delete a comment on my latest B5 video. There's a spoiler in it. People have been really good about the no spoilers thing. So we're gonna go and get rid of that one. Pax says it's actually my stomach. I'm just pretending it's a storm. Hang on, guys. I gotta go get some printer paper. It's lunchtime. I know you're not gonna get that. That's fine. Okay. Lurker, it has to do with the flash forward by Sinclair. Go lay down. You're fine, thirsty dog. It's just a storm. You know what storms are. Go away. Go lay down. I'm not letting you out. No. Don't make me close my door. I will. Go on. Go lay down. It's fine. I think most people like thunderstorms. Now I'm definitely hearing the rain. Holy crap. Why would I show that she's not my dog, first of all? Second of all, I don't actually like that dog. I mean, I tolerate you. You know, I don't hate you, but I don't like you, so go away. Go lay down. Oh, hello.
He can't hear me. He can't hear you.
I'm not a dog guy. Never have been. I actually have 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6 cases of Canada Dry ready to go. I just went grocery shopping yesterday in the middle of the E3 stuff. I can't remember what I was going to talk about. That was a power blip. Like I said, run a battery backup. Apparently that one light is not on battery backup. Oh no. Okay.